Alright, hey everyone. How's it going? Alright. I think like we normally do on stream, I'm gonna just start by kind of playing a game while we wait for people to come in. But this is gonna be the Decklist we're gonna be playing today. I think there's like also a bot command in chat that you can use to pull it up. We have actually two deck lists I want to try out today. So this one is my deck list, but there's also I think another deck list from an Arakni main that I also want to try out. I think this is from Adasis, I think, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think they also have a pretty good Arakni deck, so we might try both of these deck lists out. I'm kind of curious to see which one's better. I imagine theirs is probably better, but I kind of wanted to do kind of my own thing. So, all right, trying against Pallades. So this probably is going to be a little bit of a rougher matchup. I think we definitely just want to try to run as many D-Rex as possible. There is like a kind of downside of running too many D-Rex in Pallades because like she does have like the confidence tokens, which make it a little bit rough. I think this is still fine though. I'm starting to like this. Yeah, a lot of the new heroes, it does seem like they're pretty difficult to fatigue. It looks like they're boarding up to 68. A little bit scary. Yeah, but hey everyone, welcome in. We're doing some F tier Fridays today. Playing, I think this might have been one of the first F tier Fridays we did. No, actually maybe it was Katsu first.
It was this, I think.
Was it this?
I think it was. I mean, let me check.
I think this was like either the first or second F tier Fridays hero we did. So I'm kind of curious to see if it's still F tier. It might be like C tier.
It was Katsu. This is the second.
Yeah, I think it's the second. I have like half a mind to like discard the shelter from the storm, but I don't think I will. I think I'm just gonna like send the CNC here, and then Arsenal shelter and save the Oasis for second cycle. I feel like Oasis is pretty good if they're playing out a bunch of auras. Just because like that's one of the ways to get around confidence. Always loved hopeless Miljank in MTG, so love me some Arakni gameplay. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot worse than Fab. I feel like Mill is not necessarily a viable strategy. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the game developers do a pretty good job of like building in mechanics that can beat fatigue. Like fatigue in the sense of like just playing like every D-react in the game. I think that's always like a design consideration that they have to worry about is like what happens if I just put 90 reacts in an Arakni deck and then play that. Is that like the best deck in the format? I feel like a lot of the time the answer is no, right? But I actually kind of appreciate about Fab. It's just like they build in a lot of mechanics that deal with things people are doing. I do think that like the Jarek D-React piles though, like historically have kind of struggled sometimes. They're always like super close to being viable though, like especially if your opponent like makes a mistake or whatever. I feel like you can capitalize on a lot better with like just fatigue piles. Yeah, so I guess question for people in the chat is what new hero are y'all excited for? I don't know who's speaking to me the most. I feel like it's Pallades. Yeah, Mill's like always kind of like just a meme mechanic, but it's like I feel like in Magic at least, it was sometimes a little bit better. Like you could have like a viable. I guess it was more so like Storm, right? You like Storm into what is that card called?
Brain Freeze.
Brain Freeze, yeah. Storm into like that card, and then you just like mill your opponent out that way. I get that's like barely even mill though. Oh, it looks like I'll hit him with a refresh. See. Yeah, but what people are, what hero, I guess, are people in the chat excited for? I feel like it's Pallades for me, but I also don't feel like super strongly invested in her. I don't know. Really, heroes like speak to me super strongly. I think Lyeth and like Pallades are probably the two coolest ones. I've also just like never been a brute person. Our opponent might have. All right, we're gonna chalk this up as a first win for Arakni there. Opponent was being a little slow. Let's. All right, let's see if we can beat a KO. I'm not entirely confident that we can. I think into KO. Do we want to go first or second? Kind of want to just go second. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, the first 5 Intero is really cool. I think Tough Net also is like really interesting to me. I think Tough Net is probably the most interesting brute. And let's bring in the Scale Peeler, I guess. I don't think it's gonna matter much. Tough Nut being the first like hero with like 3 intellect is also really fascinating because like the intellect is kind of like built into the hero a little bit, which is kind of did they want to? I think they wanted to. I think they want to do something on their opening turn. Okay, they went on Arsenal. That makes sense. All right, I guess we'll start with the surgical and see if we can rip something with corrosive here. Swing big, I think we'd rather leave in the deck. Looks like they're going to be fat decking us a little bit here. But that's kind of like the nice thing about this deck is like even if your opponent's fat decking, it means that their like consistency is a lot worse. All right, so I think we will just tendency here just so that we can get some banish going. All right, so we banish the top card. I kind of want to just take the Buckwild just to remove a threat, but I think the Song of Sinew is like also quite reasonable. The Buckwild would give us an extra silver though if we take the blue one. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the blue one. So let's top. Like threat wise, I'd rather take the red one so they like don't have it. But maybe taking a blue out of their deck is like pretty reasonable. Yeah, I feel like Lyeth has like a lot. I've been seeing a lot of interesting directions that Lyeth has been going in. Like, there's kind of been like the Azalea kind of cosplay builds where they're just kind of like throwing a bunch of pumps on an attack. This hand is kind of yeah. I guess we can make it work with the Oasis at least. So let's I think just use our equipment here, and then Oasis pitch a sink. This doesn't feel great. Actually, is there a better play? Not really. I mean, we could actually just like we could maybe save the equipment and just like block with this just so Nick can like IP with the shelter. I think that's also reasonable. Maybe that's a little bit better. I think like sending the surgical and like going off an arsenal is probably kind of weak. But yeah, Lyeth's super cool. I think that he's got a lot of interesting things going for him, but it does definitely feel like that, like his hero ability of like just having everything not be or be halved is quite rough. All right, Song of Sinew first. All right, so another Song of Sinew off the top. So at least it's only coming for +3, so that's actually not that bad. But yeah, Lyeth's super cool. I think I've been like, there's actually even I think people are trying to experiment with some kind of like fatigue Lyeth that's running like steadfast Oasis, like some of like the instant speed prevention stuff, which is kind of cool to me. I think here, what do we want to do? Kind of just want to like block out sync and then just play sigil, keep our life total a little bit healthy. Do have to be a little bit concerned about fatigue. But I think we'll get a lot of equity over the course of the game by just trying to play out our contract cards and stuff. I don't think it's necessary to like start sending damage when their damage trading is like a lot better than ours. Yeah, like I've seen Lyas that are doing like Oasis, Steadfast, like Fiddler's Green. It's really interesting. I don't know if that's I feel like that's kind of like counterintuitive to what he wants to be doing a lot of the time, it feels like. But I feel like the power level, I guess, is kind of there. Let's go ahead and give like mask. Let's give the equipment just so we can like buy it back later. I think that's fine. I also don't think it's saving us from much here. Like maybe saves us from like a CNC or something, but I think this is fine. All right, it's Wild Ride. Top or bottom? Let's sync that for later. I think that's fine. They can obviously give flashback here if they want to. But then they're only getting like a 50-50 here. All right, so Clash with the attacking hero. The winner creates a figure token. You put the real card on the bottom. Okay, sure. All right, so they put a sigil on the bottom. That's actually not that bad for us. feel like Sigil in general is better if you draw it later. Alright, so we have Buckwild on top. I guess we can bottom this too. Interesting. Yeah, let's bottom the Buckwild. I think that's probably fine to leave in the deck. So we are coming over for 1 here, which is quite nice. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just like block 3 and then give equipment, because like the breakpoint on this is most of the time 3. And then we get to rip a card from hand. I guess the Buckwild is technically higher upside. Like I'd rather them play out a Wild Ride and like build themselves. So I think we'll leave that in the deck. There's actually maybe merit to even giving the Perdition there, just so we can get that in the graveyard and buy it back. Oh yeah, like I don't think Lyeth is like meant to play Fatigue, but it's really interesting that you can still kind of play Fatigue with him. I think that's really cool. I feel like there's a lot of interesting things that you can do with Lyeth's ability. Like he feels like very much a hero with like a lot of different deck building expression, at least like in the kind of early stages. I'm assuming the deck at some point will probably just like get solved. Let's bottom the E-Strike for now. Like I'm assuming like most decks in Fab, Lyeth will get solved at some point, and then the deck will probably be a lot less interesting. But I think for now it's really cool. We could actually pull Tunic if we wanted to scale Peeler here as well. That could be kind of annoying. Let's do it. It wouldn't mean we were going off the Tunic counter for Oasis, but I think that's maybe fine. I feel like the scale peeler here means that they have to like commit a card as opposed to just like giving us armor. All right, finish on the leave no, holding up Oasis, Beast Within on top. Let's get rid of that. All right, strongest. So if we get 2 cards out of them here, I think I'm very happy with this exchange. Yeah, it definitely feels like Lyeth. I don't know. Lyeth has a lot of like really interesting design things going on with him. Like the instant speed intimidate's really cool. The what else is cool? Just like the amount of might tokens he's also able to set up is really interesting. I think I've personally been leaning, like if I were to play Lyeth, I'd probably be leaning a bit more into this is kind of an interesting hand. Beast Within, draw discard off the top. So that's not actually that relevant. We could just double Oasis here. Feels a little weird. We could double Oasis Codex, get Leave No Witnesses. That's also another option. That actually might not be that bad. This seems awkward, but I think the Ponder token from the Codex might actually be more relevant than like trying to hold on to these Oasis. I'll pitch a D-React, I think, for later in the game. So now Codex, grab a Leave No, force a block out. I think we should sink this. Like, there's obviously the upside that we banish it, but I think we'll just sink that for like when they're lower on threats in the game. And then we do have the option if we just want to like trade in our Black Tech Whispers, but I think it's probably a little too early to do that. I think we're still sitting at like 40. Ooh, we found the card. Okay. We also found another copy of the card. Interesting. So I think we're pitching one of these and then just sending CNC on our turn, arseling the Justinic. I think we're just going to eat 5 here. I think that's fine. All right, very exciting. What are we going to hit off the top? All right, Wild Ride. We will not. I don't think you're ever supposed to sync with this card, right? When this defends, name a card that attacking viewer reveals top card of the deck. If it's a name card, banish this. So you're never. I don't think you're really ever supposed to sync with this unless you know your opponent's pitch deck, which I'm kind of too bad to do. So we're not going to sync the Wild Ride, and then I think we're actually still just like happy taking the Wild Rides out of the deck. So let's go ahead and grab those. So Wild Ride. This does mean we shuffle the Blood Rush, but I think that's fine. We are getting a lot of cards out of deck here. The only unfortunate part here is that like we kind of don't mind them really having the Wild Rides in the deck, because they're functionally like draw, discard in and of themselves, right? So these are like -1 card in general. I think it does just like limit the damage we're going to be taking, so I think it makes sense. Right, not a great just in a hand, but that's fine. Yeah, I think there is like a scenario where you can, if you're good enough at the game, which I'm not, you can technically like hunt the hunted, sync, and then do stuff. But like, I don't know. I'm probably not good enough of an Arakni player to pull that off. All right, Buckwild into Claw, I assume. This is fine. I think. Hmm. What disrupt? They could have a CNC here. So actually, maybe we're supposed to hold on the Just Nick and just double D react. Maybe that's a better play. Yeah, it seems fine. We are sitting on a fat stack of silver. All right, we'll do D react. Yep. So I think my plan is to block with the Just Nick afterwards once we figure out what they're doing, and then after that we're gonna play the Plunder of the Poor on their turn. All right, so no follow-up here unless it's like a Cast Bones or something. All right, we're eating a bit of damage here, but we've actually not been doing too bad. And we are officially winning on the fatigue front. All right, Vigorous Smash Up. We'll sync that. Try to get something a little bit better. I'm still looking for an excuse to use Perdition here. I'm halfway tempted to just like buy back the black text. I kind of think that's right, especially when we're sitting on 6. Like maybe getting the 1 point of block is actually worth the 2 silver here. And it feels like our opponent's blocking like pretty aggressively. So I want to make sure we're getting the value. Show of Strength. What's the play here? We have Bonds of Attraction plus Just a Nick if we want that. It's not even that good, though. Let's still lean a bit towards blocking. I think I'm actually just going to block like this. Take our 1 point of damage, and then just like pull Tunic to annihilate the arms. I think that's fine. I'm looking for a better target for the Just a Nick, I think. Oh, and it seems like maybe they got tired of me thinking. That's fine. We actually didn't do that bad on time, though. We're only 2 minutes over. Okay. We'll try to actually finish an Arakni game. I feel like this is going to be a pretty indicative of a lot of the stream where our opponent just like scooped us after a while. Yeah, they still had some like decent threats. I don't know. Maybe they just got sick of Arakni. That's totally fine. All right, so let's do. I guess we're gonna do 2 kind of deck techs. So the first deck tech I want to start off with is the Ultra Fatigue list that I'm working on. So this is coming from someone who has not played Huntsman more than like maybe a handful of times just for F-Tier Fridays. So this is kind of like the list that I put together with a little bit of help from the Flesh and Bad Discord, which you can also join. I don't know if we have a link to that, but yeah, we'll probably post it somewhere. But anyways, so this is kind of taken from, I guess, 2 different lists. Let me see if I can actually pull up the second list. Give me 1 second. But the inspiration from this basically comes from 2 assassin lists that kind of try to meld together a little bit. So let me find the other one. So this is the other one. So this one I think was an older Arakni list that went 4-3 at the Kansas City Calling. So this is like I think like a little bit of an older iteration that was basically running like 8 copies of Shred, which I think was kind of like the unique part about this deck. And then it was just kind of like, for the most part, like Arakni good stuff. Just you got your D-Reacts, you got your contract cards, you got just your good assassin cards for the most part. Like nothing super crazy or I think like super innovative about this deck. I think the 8 Shred is more so like the part that was kind of interesting. And then there's also this list, I think, from I think they're a content creator too, Adasis. So they were working on like this 9 double troubled list that also runs the new card The Hunted, which I think is really cool. And I think they're running like kind of more of an aggro package, like running the double troubles, running like the looking for scraps, and then like Oasis, and then like not a ton of D-Reacts, just a couple. And then like some interesting cards on the side were like Tarantula Toxin and Codex of Bloodrot. I think like this, probably is like a better list, which we might try out like later in the stream. But for now, I wanted to try out like an ultra kind of fatigue list. So I think this goes in a little bit of a different direction. I think either of those 2 lists. I think like these 2 lists are both trying to aim to be I think a little bit more aggressive, although not like super aggressive as this one's like on 8D reacts. But this one is basically trying to be like super defensive. So we're running cards like Sink Below, Fate Foreseen, Shelter, you know, the usual suspects, Oasis just for like the Wizard matchups and like our other Fatigue matchups, and then basically just trying to kind of mill our opponent out. So that's kind of like the rough game plan here, running all our good contract cards and then also running just like our good generic pile. So that's kind of my idea. And then we just have like Amulet and sideboard for specific matchups, and then Remembrance as well. And then for AB4, and then just some random daggers and sideboard. So that's basically kind of the list. Yeah, I think that's also the Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah. What's up? I'm not sure if you can call anything Contractney good stuff. Yeah, maybe this is like a bad stuff pile. I don't know, but I feel like you have to run like a certain number of contract cards in Arakni, otherwise like you basically just like don't use the hero ability, which is kind of boring. So I think this is about as close to like a raw Fatigue Arakni as possible. Now I think that maybe there's some merit to the more aggressive kind of like Contract Me lists. I think that maybe it's like a trap to kind of do the more Fatigue style, but I think like Arakni as a whole, your game plan should basically be to fatigue your opponent, right? I feel like that's kind of like the inspiration for like the double troubles and stuff. Just trying to like buy blocks and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my idea for the deck list for today. I did also want to plug the Discord, which I think Tegan did in the chat. And we also have like a questions channel in the Discord, so I want to pull up the question for today. So where is that questions channel? So questions for video. So this is a question from Dark Shield, and they say, would you recommend having a couple heroes or classes I can switch between depending on the meta? Or would it be better to be a specialist on a single hero or a class? So I think this is maybe coming from the perspective of someone who's like just joining the game. So I think that a lot of this will ultimately depend on like your monetary constraints. Like if you can afford, like if you're into Flesh and Blood and you can afford it as a hobby, you can like buy into multiple classes and multiple decks, then I think you can do whatever you want, right? But I think that if you're trying to do like more, if you're just getting into the game and you just kind of like want to dip your toes in, what I would recommend is probably sticking to at least like one or two classes and then like building up kind of like your generic staples and stuff like that. Because I think like once you start like buying into like multiple classes, like certain classes will maybe you just like won't enjoy them as much, and like maybe you'll like cards will like go in and out of favor and stuff like that. So like buying in can be potentially like, if you're buying across like multiple classes, it can kind of be a little bit dangerous. But if you find a class you enjoy, then I think it's a lot better ideally to kind of like try to buy into, I guess, like that class as opposed to like trying to like spread out your I guess money across multiple classes. I think that's probably what I would say for that. So yeah, what I'd say if you're a new player and you're trying to just kind of like have a budget, or like if you're on a budget and you just want to kind of like dip your toes into like competitive fab or whatever, I'd say stick to like one class that you like mechanically, not even like as in terms of like it's the best deck or whatever. I think there's also this is maybe a tangent, but I think that a lot of the best ways you can probably start is with like some of the armory decks. I think that there have been a couple like stinker armory decks, but for the most part, I think like good places to start are like the Jarl armory deck. Like Pleiades, I think has been pretty well received. Gravy, obviously, really good choice. Like I think there are a lot of pretty strong armory decks that you can like kind of buy into, and that can also kind of like offset a lot of the cost of like joining the game. So I think that's probably my answer for that question. All right, and yeah, with that, let's go ahead and get back into the game. So I guess we're technically 2-0. Both of our opponents scooped. We could play against Tough Nut. I actually don't know what Tough Nut's like. Some Arakni Pro will have to tell me what that matchup's like. I don't know. But yeah, trying out the new contract card. I think this card is surprisingly good. You can also just make a ton of silver off of it. Like you generate 3 silver just off of this, which is kind of crazy. Or no, actually, it's more than that, right? You can generate up to 4 silver because it banishes up to 3 cards with that name. If it's a name card, yeah. So you manage up to 4 cards with this, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, like this might. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just throw this into what's that set called? Like the Hunted or something? Like I don't know. Like it's kind of weird that this card is coming out now, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I guess I don't know. Maybe they wanted to like save it for later date because they didn't want like super fatigue to be a thing or something. I don't know. Very interesting. All right. All right, let's. I imagine a lot of people are not chomping at the bit to play against Arakni in OpenCC. Let's see if we can join someone else's game. All right, we can do it. I feel like a lot of people are also just like pre-release right now. Yeah, but this list I think has a lot of interesting. So this is like the I think the Arakni Pro list. So 9 double troubles is really interesting. And then we also have like the tarantula toxins in the board, which are like pseudo shreds in this deck almost. Although I guess you can also use them on like daggers and stuff. You would join, but your pre-release is coming up. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are pre-release. Our pre-release is tomorrow. So yeah, we're free tonight. All right, let's see if we can join someone. Oh, we have 2. Oh, maybe that was just me. Let's see if we can get someone here. But yeah, this other list from this Arakni Pro is really interesting because it doesn't seem to lean into like the defensive package very much, which I imagine there's probably a reason for. Like I imagine maybe you need to be more aggressive to try to mill more, but then like you're also having to like compete with your opponent's damage, which is quite rough. So I definitely like to hear a little bit of like the story behind this deck. It's very interesting to me. All right, see if we can bully a Pleiades. All right, so I think we're gonna try out the same thing we did the first game. Don't think I'm super concerned about the Remembrance. The Nerve Scalpel is probably also worse than the Scalpel. Let's try it like this. All right, clean 60. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, Pleiades is quite scary for this deck just because like the confidence tokens are quite good. Let's see how many auras they can set up on turn 1 though. If it's not an aura setup turn, we could be in pretty decent shape though. So if you control 3 or more auras of suspense, this controls. So they could theoretically play out 3 auras if they really wanted to. But I'm kind of doubtful that they will. I think I'll just get a little bit of filtering here. Keep our life total a bit healthy. I imagine they're probably just going to like arsenal something, play out an aura in a turn or whatever. If they don't have an aura here, I think this is fantastic for us. Yep, that is really, really good. So I think the play here is maybe just dagger, annihilate, Arsenal Oasis. Seems fine. Let's start with the Peeler. Just see if we can get a little bit of value. All right, the suspense is killing me. So this is the lunging press. This card's really good. Interesting. So they had 2 cards left in hand. So the 2 cards have to be these other 2 cards? Or was it 3 cards in hand? So it's interesting that they didn't play these out on turn 1, but they also... So I think these 3 cards, the other 3 cards in their hand, they had to have kept. Very weird. All right, follow up the bite. Hopefully our Annihilate the Arm connects. If it does, I think we're in a pretty good shape. But yeah, the play patterns of Pleiades have been kind of interesting because it seems like what she wants to do is like she has these blue pummel. I think I kind of want to banish the pummel, but I also kind of don't. Let's sink the pummel for later. I might regret that. But yeah, it seems like what Pleiades wants to do, or at least what the Armory decks like cards are telling me. I think this is from the Armory deck, right? She has these like blue instants that she wants to like try to transfer counters onto, so you get more value out of this. So you can like turn this into like a blue 0 for 3, 0 for 4. I think is like kind of the ideal. I don't think it always works out like that, depending on what your opponent's like presenting. But I think like the idea is you basically like transfer the counters from something you want to like go to something you don't like. You want to stay around, basically. All right, we hit a spinal off the top. That's quite nice. We get our silver, so I'd say pretty good for us. Oh, and interesting. They transferred the counter from the suspense to that. Okay, strange. All right, well, we're gonna get some nice tempo here. We get to leave no plus cut to the chase. Oh, Arakni starts with an A. I didn't know that. Yeah, it has to be A tier. Thanks for thanks for telling me. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it started with an A or it could be a V upside down. You know, you never know. Uh, yeah, basically, I think that's like the core idea of Pleiades, right? Is you want to transfer from your red auras to your blue auras, so you get your red auras faster and your blue auras like stick around. I don't. How many blue auras does she have? She has this one, and she has the one that gives things. So she has the prevention one, she has the +1 one, and then she has the things cost 1 less 1. I think those are the ones. I don't know if you run all of those though, or maybe it's like matchup dependent. But her design is very interesting to me. These boots are also quite nuts. If you like, I think these are revered equipment, so like Tough Nut also runs these. Boots to the boards are kind of like a crazy equipment piece. Like just being able to like dump your hand and like set up 3 toughness for next turn is like quite good. I actually really love the design of this card. All right, so Command Conquer. The problem is we sunk a Pummel, so I don't want to sink a Command and Conquer close to a Pummel ideally. Oh yeah, Tough Nut and Heals is also gas. I agree. All right, cut to the chase. So I think I'm going to try to banish that CNC, ideally. Yeah, Tough Nut Drip goes hard. What is it? Like he's wearing like just some weird armor. Like he's got the heels on. He's got the dress. He's got what gauntlets does he run? He runs like the little like T-Rex gauntlets. He's got like the Warhammer gloves on. And then I think he also runs like Crown. Yeah, the fit goes very, very hard. Oh no, yeah, they did give Tunic. That is it's quite painful. Yeah, it's pretty rough from our opponent here. They are getting some good setup here. But yeah, the Tunic feels quite rough there. Alright. Funny thing is our Codex is pretty bad. That's maybe they scooped. Okay, well we're 3-0 from scooping, so that's fun. Finally playing a good hero. Yeah, if this is what you think is a good hero, yeah, it could be. I don't know. Is this the same person? Try to go first. This might be the same person. Not sure if they want to stay for more Arakni fun, or maybe they just like messed up. That's also totally fine. All right, we'll run it back. Oops, grab our thing. I think we want the Scale Killer over the Nerve. Run it like this. All right, good setup hand. So let's, I guess, start with the Bite. Get some blocks. Is Huntsman a wizard with psychic damage? Very possible. Very, very possible. I feel like this card is kind of traumatizing. I've not gotten hit terribly by this card yet, but I've heard rumors of like, I think maybe it was Taylor or someone talking about how like they got hit with like their King Shark got hit off the top of this card. So this card is like kind of troll, to be honest. But I kind of like it. All right, let's go ahead and buff. I think we're just trying to pull as many cards out of them as possible here, especially if they want to just set up auras. We don't have plans to go to Worlds right now. When is Worlds? I forget, but like yeah, we've had some expenses come up, both in terms of taking the cat to the vet and also me being taken to the ER from the cat. So lots of cat expenses this year. November 13th to 16th. That's like a maybe. We're definitely planning on going to some events like either early next year or like sometime like around when we move. Definitely depends. Matching. Oh, your cat's sick too. I hope they feel better. All right, so let's go ahead. What do we want to do? So we can just block 7 on this. I think that's fine. And then I feel like we want to maybe threaten the Eradicate. Although Plunder the Port is like also fine. Let's just do this, I think. And then maybe just send Plunder Arsenal the Eradicate for next turn. Are you getting me a cat?
I'm getting you a cat.
I'm
I
getting you
don't mind banishing that.
Getting you
So-
the hospital
Oh, is this the hospital boy?
Well, that's the one who had to go to the hospital.
Yep. Oh wow, I got like super. I think my OBS messed up.
What's up?
It's like it's got like the hill one or something.
Oh. Yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah, I might have to fix that, but this is Wilson. Alright. I'll fix the OBS in a second, but holding Wilson's more important. So up on a pedestal, is that the card name? I'm gonna do my best to type while holding the cat. Alright, finish that one. Seems good. Yeah, we're planning on moving back to the Pacific Northwest, but very dependent on my job approving that and stuff, so still waiting on that. But yeah, in the meantime, Wilson, be free. Yeah, let me see if I can fix OBS real quick. Give me 1 second.
You might have to mess with the e-spill specifically.
Yeah.
Or the chroma key, rather.
I don't know what happened. That was super weird.
I had to set up a new.
You guys set up a new one?
Yeah, because it like the other one was just like it did not work no matter what I did. So that probably is why.
Alright, I'm gonna need to fix that. Alright, it might have made it worse. That's my bad. Alright, let me see if I can fix that in the meantime. Yeah, sure, we'll see Macho. But yeah, we're excited to move back to the Pacific Northwest at some point. In the meantime, let me see if I can hold on. Nope, that didn't really fix it. Trying to make my hair not invisible. Something like. Oh, I know what happened with the chroma key. Hold on a second. Sorry, getting distracted. There's some serious Arakni gameplay going on here. Oh yeah, calling PTX. I remember that. That was a lot of fun. Spinal. Okay, it's fine. I think let's go ahead and talk with Persuasive plus the Shelter, and then just do Dagger and Annihilate the Armed. If they go for... No, this play's actually fine. I was wondering if they go for like the Lunging Press, if that would matter, but I think that's probably fine. So let's start, I guess, on the Spider's Bite. Now, we can either do the Eradicate or the Annihilate the Arms. I guess it might depend on how they block. Alright, promise I'll try to get rid of this at some point. So let me... Sorry, we're doing it live. Alright, Tension in the Air. Glad to see that out of the way. Edge of their Seats, that's another good one. So this is attack action. I guess we will sync that for later still. We have to be a bit worried about the confidence tokens in this matchup, but I think otherwise we're actually doing kind of okay here. But yeah, it was nice meeting you at Calling PDX. Alright, so Tension in the Air, Banish, that's fine. We're doing good. Let me see if I can keep fiddling with this OBS real quick. So I normally do a custom color on the OBS. Alright, hold on. You might need to see the green. 1 second. Alright. The movie magic is gone. Let's select the color. We'll let the fault line happen. Then we'll block. I guess we don't have to block. No, we'll just block like this. I think it's fine. All right, let me pick the screen color. So I pick that color. Do that. Nope, too much. Is that better? I think it's better. Nope, not even close. All right, Tunic getting pulled for what? Maybe just another aura here. Oh, they got the pummel.
That was pretty good. Oh,
No.
you're invisible.
Yeah, I'm invincible now.
You're
Okay.
a ghost.
All right. Let me do that. Is that better? It's almost better. We'll figure it out. I might just do this between games. Maybe that's a little bit easier. Alright, we're not getting pummeled here, which is great. And then we just pull Tunic Eradicate. Force some blocks here. It's probably good. Probably actually should have thrown the Perdition in front of that too, just because we probably want to start trying to threaten to buy the back. Alright, Pummel I feel like can get sunk for later. So we have 2 Pummels sunk back in the deck. Although we might have shuffled at some point, didn't we? We might have shuffled after the Arakni D-React. Sink the Pummel. Alright, love to see a CNC alloy. That's great for us. So that's, I think, 2... Did we banish another CNC somewhere? Or was that the other game? That might have been the other game. Alright, so we have 2 more CNCs to worry about. Nope, didn't make it any better. Alright, Standing Ovation. When this hits, they get another turn. They don't have a confidence here, though. So I think here we'll just give the blocks, plunder the floor. And also, how many auras? No auras have left, I don't think. Alright, we'll get rid of the Mass Perdition too, just so we can potentially cash it in. And then pass on that. Yeah, the Fatigue plan is going well. The Obius plan less so. Tension in the area, that can get bottomed, I think.
Why don't you adjust the side?
The side of it?
Yeah, the side of the video. Just bring it in a little.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Alright, 2 cards here is great. Oh, see, okay. Perfect opportunity. Alright, we're 4-0 just from scooping. This is fantastic. This is exactly how I want this to go. Alright, in the meantime, let me see if I can fix OBS. Bear with me for 1 second. Nope, that's making it worse. Alright, that's better. Alright, that's better. And then, I think I normally get, nope, that made it way worse. Let's go up here, maybe? Movie magic. That's better. Is that better? Still a little bit green. Let's do that. Is that better? Maybe. Would be good enough. That's good.
That looks pretty good.
I'm gonna drop it down like a little bit. Alright, I think this is fine. Okay, cool. Farming concessions, perfect Huntsman gameplay. Yes, I agree. I think this was a great choice. Let's play against Goliath. Ooh, that sounds fun. All right. First or second? I feel like Goliath is generally a setup hero, so you try to want to go first if you can. I think we're running the same policy as before. We had to consider running the Remembrance, but the funny thing about Goliath is he does kind of fatigue himself like on his own. So I think we'll just bring in the Scale Peeler, although the Scale Peeler is also not super necessary. Make Graven's like fine. Let's try Graven. Yeah, like honestly, if you can get your opponents to just scoop to you every armory, that's like I think the ideal strat. All right, so we'll start with the Sigil. I think we're just like IPing with the CNC here, and then just coming in with the Plunder. All right, so opponent's running a 70 card deck into us, which tracks, I think. I think we're just trying to pull as many cards here as possible. All right, the Goon Tactics. If you control 3 or more auras, this gets +3 when it hits heroes for the top card of the deck. Oh, are we getting fatigued? All right, I guess we'll sink that to the bottom then. Interesting. So maybe this is the fatigue Goliath that I've seen kind of running around. Definitely super interesting. So I imagine they just like hero power here or something. Okay. Spooky, spooky. All right, let's go ahead and tuck the Oasis in Arsenal and hope they don't play out like an Aura in a turn here. Ooh, Edge of their Seats is a good one. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah, Life can threaten a lot of damage, so we got to be a bit careful here. Fortunately, we're losing 2 of our CNCs here, most likely. Like, imagine we're probably just blocking. Yeah, yeah. You're seeing the fun part of why I like teleshow streaming is like actually quite difficult. Some days it just feels like sometimes like, you know, your opponent's just like maybe not into it or whatever. And then it becomes like very difficult to record. So we're maybe seeing that a bit live here. But let's see if we can try to get a full game here. I think it's actually kind of good that they just passed here because now we get to play out our CNC and leave one in the deck. It's at least pretty good on the fatigue front. I think there was also a slight misplay there. We probably should have CNC'd first and then sigiled after in case we wanted to play around the leave them hanging. But I'll probably get better at that sequencing the more I play in this hero. It's surprisingly hard to kind of play around that card. Leave them hanging, I think, is the new one. The one that like intimidates at instant speed. The card is like really, really good. Yeah, but if you're in chat, let me know how your day's going. What are people brewing? Anyone have any spicy F tier Fridays deck lists for the future? I'm honestly thinking about like making F tier Fridays like the stream day. Sometimes I'm just like not inspired for F tier Fridays though. I feel like we had to revisit Arakni though. Absolutely had to. All right, so they're gonna pull the counter off one of the edge of their seats. So both of these are ripping next turn. It's definitely a bit scary. But we are at least keeping our deck fairly dense. This hand is like pretty bad, I'd say. I kind of hope they like banish an Oasis here. All right, that's I think good for us. Oh boy, double scout. Problem. Sure.
This hand sucks.
Well, actually, it's not even that bad because they just like intimidate our hand, so we don't have to discard, right? This isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, we're getting hit for 23, but like that's just kind of like Goliath things. We can double pitch the Oasis into our stack, which is kind of funny. This is actually not the end of the world. I mean, it's pretty bad, obviously, but like
23.
Yeah, 23 is a lot. All right, cut to the chase. Guess I'll leave that on top. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good turn from our opponent here. Oh, a School of Rock performance this weekend. Nice. Do I think any of the new heroes will be featured in F tier Fridays? That's a good question. I could honestly see that like all of them seem like kind of playable. Like Lyeth has a very powerful thing he's doing. Pallades has a really powerful thing she's doing. Like who is like the worst hero this set? And I think like it's probably one of the brutes. Like if I had to guess, it's probably KO. Like the new KO. But like even that KO, like he's got some stuff going on that's kind of interesting. I don't know. All right, Withstand is another one. Yeah, so this is looking more of like a kind of fatigue Goliath, which is pretty interesting. All right, found Hunt the Hunted, but unfortunately no blue to play it. All right, into the Mocking Blow. So they are gonna boo us. Get some value there. So this is kind of rough. I mean, I guess we're probably just going for the double trouble, right? So I guess we'll block with the Just Nick, pitch the Hunt the Hunted for later. What an LLOTK Marlin list looks like. I mean, you basically just throw cash into Marlin is what I've heard. I don't know if it's much more complex than that. But yeah, LL Marlin is like a semi-real thing, I think. I feel like you'll still probably struggle into some of the decks in the format, but like otherwise, you probably got some pretty interesting, okay matchups. All right, let's see if we can get some mill here. Oh, we cannot cut. We cannot do the cut to the trees on this. Actually, I think. Oh, I know what I did. I think I was supposed to hold on to the Justin Nick instead, so I can give like the on hit extra banish. I think I thought about that and I just like did not do it. So that's on me. I guess we'll mask here, and then we have either flick or I guess we can also black text. Let's go ahead and flick a dagger. I don't think we really are like desperate for this Graven Call, so maybe just getting rid of it's fine. If we can get some mill value here, I think that's pretty worth it. Yeah, I think RKO is just waiting for other KO to LL, is what I've heard from people. But like I also kind of feel like he might be underestimated. I don't know. Like even like what he's doing is like kind of somewhat powerful. So I wouldn't be surprised if like he ends up doing well. Maybe just off the back of people like underestimating him. But still, I guess kind of remains to be seen. So yeah, we maybe should be one card deeper on fatigue. That's on me. Minnowism. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is almost looking like kind of a hybrid between the kind of more fatigue style Lyeth and then also like some kind of like intimidate. Very interesting. I mean, it's doing pretty good into us because we're kind of like a fatigue deck, right? All right, so we got the E-Strike, the Double Trouble, and the Bond. So I think our play is just going to be like E-Strike, that, and then we'll just Tunic. Oh, sorry, we don't want to block with Tunic. We'll pull Tunic to Oasis here. But yeah, I think that from what I've heard from most people is that the new KO seems to be doing the least powerful stuff. All right, Sigil. This is a very cool Lyeth deck. I feel like this is a little bit unique than some of the Lyeth decks I've been seeing lately. It feels like they have like kind of a cohesive game plan with like the bully tactics and the statistics gal and stuff. Very cool. It seems like maybe they're trying to go for more of like an anti-fatigue kind of strat. I'm here for it. I think it's pretty neat. So I'm kind of curious what other cards. So they're definitely running like the cut a long story short. I imagine they're probably also running some of the yellow on hits. Bully Tactics is pretty scary. Withstand is interesting. Lots of weird cards in this deck. Also, don't mind me. I'm drinking out of a measuring cup like a psycho. All right, let me make sure don't need a refresh. All right, we do see some of their better pumps at least gone. Like 2 Sadistic Scowls gone, plus the Edge of Receipts. So I'd say that's pretty decent for us. It looks like they're just grabbing some value here. Iced tea or sweet tea? I don't know if this is technically sweet tea. Let me look at it. It's like a little sweet. Okay, 32 grams of sugar. That's sweet. I guess it's like it's a blackberry tea. I feel like it's not super. I mean, 32 grams is a lot of sugar actually.
That's not like as much as like sweet tea from the south.
Yeah, it's not like that's not like sweet tea. Sweet tea. I'm from Florida originally, so I feel like tea down there was like gross in terms of sweetness. I actually kind of want to just use Hunt the Hunted here, even if we lose a bit of value. Could also just E-Strike, but I'd kind of rather just like cash this in case it becomes awkward later. Let's go ahead and cash in our first one. I also want just the excuse to play it. Yeah, the measuring cup I think is when you're out of. So we actually have just like normal We have like the mason jars. Ooh, that's a really good target. So we'll not sink that one. That's one of the better threats in the deck, and they had 3 of them left. Batter Beaten Broken is a really good card. I'll kind of show it when it comes up on the screen. But this one I think is like almost an auto queen life. Yeah, it's not Southern level. Like Southern levels of sweet is like disgusting. So battered, beaten. Oh my god, I missed the comma. Okay, battered, beaten, and broken. Okay, so let's grab all those. Oh, they're only okay. No, they are running 3. Okay, so that's really good value for us. But yeah, Southern sweet tea is like kind of disgusting. I kind of like just like a little bit of sweetness, like maybe put like a little bit of like lemonade or something in my tea. That's generally what I prefer. But this is like kind of one of my favorite flavors. It's like I'm sponsored by Pure Leaf. Oh, and you can see the green screen is like cutting out the leaf. That's kind of funny. But anyways, yeah, I kind of like their tea because it's just like a little subtle sweetness is kind of what I like. But yeah, I'm very much a tea drinker. All right, so let's re-equip our mask here. Just get a little bit of value. And then we could honestly just send in with the double trouble, see what they do. Like, our daggers are functionally kind of useless, so if we can just threaten it, I think that's fine. We are not sponsored by Pure Leaf. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this is actually... Alright, this is a good tangent, because I'm fucking livid about this. I don't know. Has anyone in the chat had Liquid Death? Any Liquid Death enjoyers in the chat? Because I fucking do not like the new changes to Liquid Death. Yeah. Yeah, for the right price, we can get sponsored by a tea company, I guess. But not Liquid Death. Fuck Liquid Death. I hate their tea so much. It was so good. Like they had like the perfect thing going. Do we want to actually just like banish here? I'm like kind of tempted, honestly. We rip 3 cards out of them, or we get them to use like a D-React here or something. I'm gonna go for it. I'll make them do something here.
You just don't like stevia.
I don't like stevia, which is true. All right, if we get them to use an Oasis here, I think that's fine. I imagine this is pretty annoying for them. All right, Nimblism into what? Into a cut a long story short. So this doesn't have the on hit, right? Because it's not towered. But yes, anyways, I was very upset that they changed the formula to yeah, not a fan of Liquid Death. I do not like it. But yeah, this is good for us, I think. We just get to keep the Persuasive in the deck. I think there's probably maybe some merit to leaving the double trouble over the Persuasive. It's kind of an interesting choice.
Well, key to your hatred is that it was your favorite tea.
It was my favorite tea. So okay, so the tea that I liked from Liquid Death was called Grim Leafer. And it was like it had like just this very it didn't really taste very sugary, which I kind of like. But anyways, they changed the formula, so now all I can taste is sugar. Because I think they did it to appeal to like soda drinkers, and they just like put a bunch of stevia in it. Not a fan. Not me lunging for my phone to join. Yes, they ruined the drink. They ruined it, right? I'm not the only, like, I know that there are countless people online who have complained about like Liquid Death just like completely ruining the drink, but like they absolutely did. Oh, why 2 Art of Desire Mind and 3 Bonds of Attraction? I think that was an idea from this list. Yeah, I think I like copied the blue base from this list and then just kind of ran with it. So that's probably a question for a better Arakni player. Like, I think this person actually has a channel. You can honestly maybe ask them that, because I'm kind of curious too. I actually don't know. Let me see if I can like pull up their channel. Maybe a good opportunity to do a collab in the future if this person sees this video and sees my misplays. All right, let me look up Adasis. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Adasis Fab. Oh wait, no, I think I saw a video on the other screen. Oh, the Plague Hive. Is that the video? Or is that the person? Oh, maybe this is the Arakni main. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is their list. Okay. Sorry, putting names to faces. Yeah, this I can't do the stevia. The stevia just like grosses me out really bad. Yeah, maybe it's a just like a ratio thing. Maybe I think they also want to maybe make room for like an overcrowded, so maybe they just did like 21 blues or something. Leave No's not a bad arsenal though. All right, let's go ahead and block. I mean, I guess we'll just get our point of value here. I'm not super thrilled with it. We could also like preserve the deck, but I am actually worried that this 1 point of life like might matter. So I guess we can probably afford to get rid of the Plunder of the Port here. Yeah, they also made the can smaller, which I don't know. Liquid Death like just got completely ruined for me, which is upsetting because it was like one of my favorite drinks. If we get intimidated here, that's not the end of the world because we have the backup leave no. Although I would, I think, ideally like to send the CNC here. All right, we'll hit him with it. Goon Tactics is an interesting one. When this hits 0, destroy the top card of their deck. This is not a blue I feel like I've seen a ton of. But maybe they're also just memeing. Oh, yellow? Did I miss a yellow somewhere? Really happy to see the batter beaten and broken this out of the way, though. I think that was pretty big for us. Oh, we got the last statistic scale. Okay. We're actually doing not too bad here. Oh, it's spelled horribly wrong. Gotcha. Okay. Cruel Ambition. That's fine. Well, I kind of like a lot of the art on these reviled cards. I like this one a lot. What other ones do I like? There's Sadistic Scowl, I think is pretty cool. I feel like a lot of the dwarf ones are also quite nice. Yeah, a lot of cool art in this. All right, Goon Beatdown. When this hits 0, the crowd boos you. All right, are we playing against like Goon Tribal here? We got the Goon Tactics and we also got the Goon Beatdown. All right. Okay. Yeah, well, I guess we'll just block like this. I think Tegan's dying over there. Oh, that's so funny.
Damn
it. Oh god.
I hope someone clips that.
Alright, we got a Might token. Things are good. Oh, you love the new Brute card. Give him a piece of your mind. I've not seen that one. Let me give him a piece of your mind. Give him. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. I like this one. When the combat change closes, didn't hit. Oh, yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, this one rocks. I love that one. I've also not done pre-release yet, so a lot of these cards I'm still learning the names of. All right, we got the leave no plus the cut to the chase. They could potentially intimidate us, but still 50-50 here. So sometimes you gotta take the 50-50s. All right, Minnowism on top. We want red cards, so maybe that's actually fine to leave on top. Just be glad Fab decks don't have names now. True. All right, they're gonna block it out. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. This withstand's actually kind of crazy in Lyeth. We can't really do anything here. No. Okay, so we'll just pass. I think we'll Arsenal. We'll try to leave this for pitch in case we need it. All right, Terrace Under. Pretty spooky. All right, I guess it didn't really matter what we Arsenaled. So I guess we let the Arsenal get hit. We take 2. Not looking great for us. What's like the best 2 cards we can keep here? Maybe like Persuasive plus Sink Below. And then we just take the full 8 here. Maybe that's what we have to do. Obviously not in love with it though. Terrace Under turns out is a pretty good card. So we lose this. We lose the Surgical. Lose the Cut. And then I think we just try to bluff him with Justinic. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Maybe we'll leave that one in terms of the deck naming competition. We'll save that one for later. All right, we're getting them pretty low on cards. We just kind of need to stay alive here. If we can bluff them with the Justin Nick, I think we're in pretty good shape. Like, we can get them to overcommit here. Very possible we're getting stream sniped though. If we see like a Rampart 1 block, maybe they'll get us here. I am actually kind of okay with this. Alright, we kind of baited out the leave them hanging too, which is kind of nice. So we're functionally getting like 3-ish cards out of them. And I guess they can like Tunic Rampart now. Alright, Arsenal is Sync. You do still have to worry about the other. We have how many leave them hanging still left? We have this one, obviously. Did we see it? Oh yeah, we banished one, so we have one more to worry about after this one. All right, it's not looking too bad. We just need to dodge the Terra Sunders, and I think we're actually in okay shape here. All right, we're getting shrifted. So what are we blocking with here? I think we're just doing the same bluff we did last turn, right? Where we just do bonds, like we do the Just Nick bluff and then try to hit him with the Sigil. Kind of don't mind this. And we're threatening a card on top. Or at least we're forcing a card out of hand with the Rampart. So I think this is good. But yeah, Terra Sunder has been really good, I feel like, in these new Guardian lists. It feels like this is like the one Guardian card that you kind of have to run, it feels like. Let me look up the new Guardian cards from the set. Give me 1 second. When I've seen them all like individually, but like looking them together is kind of helpful. So class, we want to do Guardian. Where's Guardian? There it is. And then set, what is the set called? Super Slam? There we go. All right. I kind of wanted to take a look at the Guardian cards. All right. What's their block here? All right. They're blocking with the Goon plus the Rampart. That seems fine. Oh yeah, and folks, feel free to join the Discord. We've got, I think our Discord is actually really cool because we've got a Moby Dick book club. We've got a channel where we're talking about bad movies from the 2000s. And then we're also talking about Fab and stuff. What other stupid things have we done in the Discord recently? Ooh,
Complained about Assassin.
we complained about Assassin. That's always an important one. All right, how much is this coming in for? 8. That is the perfect number. So yeah, I think we're happy about that. The only problem, I guess we're like discarding one of these codexes, or I guess we can like sync a codex. That's actually probably the play, right? All right, so we'll just double direct here. We are running them out of cards, which is nice, but I kind of want to look at the Guardian cards real quick. So okay, so it's kind of like the cycle of like these dwarf cards that I was kind of most interested in. So we got No Tall Tales. This is like Spinal Crush. We got Crippling Crush. We got Righteous Cleansing. This is like there's an aura card, right? There's the what's that? It's like a 5/9 card that destroys auras, right? I think it was like a Tolarian Community College card. Right. I guess we'll bottom that because we don't want to arsenal it. What is that card called? There is a Guardian card that this is based off of too as well, right? Someone remind me about that. And then we also have discard a card, deal 4 more damage, destroy an aura, and then destroy a card in arsenal. I really like this cycle of cards. I think it's really interesting. They're kind of like reprints of former cards, but the stat line is all kind of the same, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, it was a heavy row too. What is that card called? Hold on, let me look it up. It's like Aura. Aura token. Let me see if I can find it. It's Macro Reality. That was a card. That was the card I was thinking of. Which I think saw play in like during the Florian chance stacking meta. At least I think I tried it out and it was terrible. But yeah, interesting card. So like I kind of like that a lot of the new cards are kind of like rehashing a lot of those old kind of effects. Is kind of neat. Very big fan of that cycle. Might hit him with a refresh. I think we're 5-0 on Arachnes if we count the concessions, which is kind of hilarious. Oh yeah, the Viscerai meta was also kind of decent. Yep. I think we bored our opponent today. Is that possible? All right, we're 5-0 via sheer boredom. Maybe that's a good sign.
It's the greatest deck ever made.
Yeah, it's a great stack. You don't even have to play. You don't have to finish the games. You can just play half the games. This is great. How much time should we give them? Let's give them. All right, I'm gonna give them 40 seconds. We'll see. Otherwise, we're taking this W. I'm kind of curious, like, what all cards they had left in their deck at this point. So I feel like we ran through a decent number of threats, at least. Seems like we may have some Mocking Blows left. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that a moral victory is almost the same as, like, an actual victory. I can get behind that. Yeah, the best kind of ultra turbo fatigue is just getting your opponent to leave the game. I agree. All right, well, I think we gave them enough time. Let's go ahead and we have to get at least one game where we can like finish the game, right? Do we want to play against a Vincent? Okay, that could be interesting. I have not played against a Vincent in a while. Let's do it. What do we want for our A/B setup? Probably just Lantern. Just bring in the Lantern, I think, and then Nerf Scalpel seems not super relevant. Let's bring the Oasis, I guess, and then maybe just the Sinks. We could also try to run the Fates. I don't know if that's necessary, though. Maybe like 2 Fate. Let's run 65. Let's not do the full 66. I think maybe that's part of the problem of why our opponents are conceding is because we're running all of the fatigue package. All right, opponent gets a die roll going first. So Vincent got that new card, Painful Passage, I think, or something like that. I think I'm actually gonna try it. I guess Filtering doesn't even do anything here, right? Yeah, I guess it's fine. That's true. We technically finished the game, kind of. But we'll go ahead and Arsenal the Fate here, I think, and then just like Double Trouble. I don't think I'm pumping into the Double Trouble though, because like giving equipment into a Vincent seems a little suspect. And I also don't really want to fuel their Banish Zone yet. All right, but I think the name of the game is going to be Survival here. Let's see. So the nice thing about Arakni is you play this deck in paper, your opponent cannot run away. They cannot concede. They have to sit across from you and they have to play it out. I think that's maybe the appeal, is playing this deck in paper as opposed to playing on Talishar, is your opponent cannot concede. They have to try and do at least.
They have to. They can concede.
No, they have to. They have to. Oh, it seems like. All right, I'm kind of happy if they want to just give us a bunch of cards here. And we're even gonna pump that anyways. That's great for us. All right, let's see what are they gonna play anything out here? All right, gonna play out on Mob Skies. Makes sense. I think we're gonna take the opportunity to just block out as much as possible here. All right, so let's give them some blues. Oh, I scooped a singularity. That's hilarious. Okay, let's give them the fate here. I think we're just gonna try to stay as healthy as possible. Ooh, Hunter hunted. It's a good opt. Our opponent could theoretically Purgatory us, but then we have Purgatory out of the way, so maybe I'm fine with that. It's like the Singularity is definitely good, but I feel like a lot of decks can actually kind of deal with Singularity if you just like run out of juice. I've won games where my opponents played Singularity and they just like could not keep up, or like they just drew bad. I don't know. I feel like people concede too much. I mean, sometimes there's like very legitimate reasons to concede. Maybe that's a good topic. Is like when to concede. I think like if there's like a 99% chance that you're losing a game and it's gonna take 20 minutes, then yeah, you should probably concede. But I feel like a lot of times you should try to play towards your outs, especially in like tournament setting or when there's like any prize or whatever on the line. Seems like
what's like if you've been like if you're about to get like fatigued and you know you don't have enough damage.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing, right?
Yeah, like I think there are valid reasons to concede. It's more so I just think that like in general, like especially if you're like an armory or whatever, I feel like conceding is like kind of whatever. Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, Singularity is a good card, right? It's a pretty good one. So maybe people don't know the strat for Singularity. I mean, like, if you're at 49 life, that's a lot of life. I mean, I guess it depends what deck you're playing or whatever, but, like, I don't know. That doesn't seem completely unsurmountable. Alright, I think we're just doing this mostly for deck damage at this point. Alright, see what the Vinsect can string together here. They do have 2 Malefics on the board, which is kind of spooky. I'm also a little bit worried about the Hunter or Hunted just like feeling their banish pretty bad. Yeah, like Teklo just has issues. Teklo is kind of a problem child. Alright, we got Overpower. So we can block 5 here. So I feel like we're going to be taking some damage here, right? Which means the Arcane Cussing is going to pop. I mean, I feel like the Arcane Cussing is going to pop anyways, probably. We should at least make an effort, though. This is coming in for 2. I mean, they're going to be able to force through whatever here, so I guess we should just take the value line here. Alright, so let's go ahead and I think we're just trying to block, like we're not trying to AB here because ABing is inefficient. So let's take our 4 rune chance. They're going to get the Cussing here, but I think they're guaranteed to get the Cussing anyways. Oh yeah, I did hear they fixed Teklo. That's really good. I'm glad to see that he's not completely unplayable. Alright, we got 5 on the Deathly Whale. That's fine. So I think here we're just going to go for the Hunter or Hunted. Hope you all enjoyed the thumbnail. It was actually really easy to make that thumbnail. Because someone made a... Ooh, we can banish Malefics. That's a perfect target. Yes, I would like to get the Malefics out of the way. So, not take the Malefics. Yeah, Teklo's a really fun deck. Tegan, do you have the Singularity over there?
I do. Of course I do.
Let me show that off. Alright, so this is what Tegan opened from a loose pack in Bright Lights.
On my birthday.
On Tegan's birthday. is all right, we'll name the Lepic here, and I'll show it off in a second. All right, I'll grab the rest of Malefic's out of the deck. Fantastic. But Tegan opened this Singularity Teklo Marvel that also we got graded. It's a 9/5. So I would say pretty good pull from a singular loose pack of Bright Lights, which is hilarious. Not everyone can have Tegan's luck. So I guess we'll so we're gonna block 2 on this. Or no, we don't have to block 2 on this. All right, we can skip all these. So we're blocking with the Eradicate and then Sigilling. But yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good pack pull. We can also block with the Black Text if we wanted to. I think that's fine. Yeah, the Singularity is a very pretty looking card. Yeah, it's super nice. I don't know if the webcam is necessarily doing it justice, but the card is like very, very shiny and cool. But yeah, it's staying in the slot for now because neither of us have played Teklo. Or I think Tegan, you played Teklo a couple of months ago, right? I think Tegan's played more Teklo than I have. All right, we're just taking a setup turn. Fine with that. So the Corsive is a little awkward here, but that's fine. We can just use it for pitch if we need to. So I think let's start with the Bite. So I don't think we're going to Corsive this turn. I think if anything, we're just going to threaten the Double Trouble IP with the Our Desire Mind. And if we get Go again on the Double Trouble, then we can play the Our Desire Mind afterwards. I think they're halfway, like, I imagine from their perspective, they're probably halfway tempted to just, like, let this hit, which I think is pretty reasonable. So we're going to give them 3 cards in Banish here, which could be kind of scary. But yeah, Singularity is very cool looking. All right, they're going to sink here. So they still need 1 extra point over if they want to block it out, though. But they might not even really necessarily want to block this out. And see if we get the Go again here. Alright, Deathly Whale. And then the Double Trouble. Alright, Eulogy and Puppetry. So we gave them 2 cards, but that's kind of fine, honestly. And now you just follow up with the Our Desire Mind. Oh wow, they're gonna even give us like the full block on this one. We just have a Sigil. Oh, that's so good for us. Yeah, I'd say we're in a pretty good spot now. That is the one thing about Assassin, is if your opponent ever blocks wrong, you kind of just win the game, which is nice. Hey, we got the scoop victory. This is our 6th. Has anyone been counting? Is this our 6th? Wait, hold on. When did I start? Let's take a look at the results. Is this our 6th victory? We've not finished a game today. Today we hold on. All right, is it our 5th one? So 1, 2. Well, yep, I think that is our fifth scoop victory. Okay, yep, that was pretty good, pretty good. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can get another. Let's see if we can finish a game. Let's try to play against Tough Nut. That seems like maybe a tougher matchup. It was a 5 or 6. I think the results are saying 5. But I could be wrong. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't update. What was last year we played against Vincent? Oh no, it did update. I think it's maybe it didn't count one. Who knows? All right, we're playing against Mizzle McDizzle on Tough Nut. I guess we Scale Pillar or Graven Call. Let's try the Graven, I guess. And I think this is just like a raw fatigue matchup, right? I feel like they're gonna actually be a bit better at fatigue than us, maybe, potentially. Oh, you've been playing Silksong? I tried to play that. Okay, so here's my Hollow Knight story. I played Hollow Knight like a while ago. I think I beat the game. And then I like tried to revisit it on the controller, like the PS5 version. And then I like just hated the way that game felt on controller. so I didn't play it. Let's go first and play these, I think. So anyways, I've not picked up Silksong, but I've heard good things about it. I've also heard that it's like really, really hard. So I've also, I guess, heard that's very difficult as well. But I think the pricing on the game is like pretty cheap, right? It's like couple bucks or like $20 or so, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's yeah, $20 for a game of that quality, I think is quite insane. I will say a lot of people are hyped for it. I think it's just one of those games. It's like the controls are not for me. I have like a lot of difficulty doing like I guess like direction based inputs. So like I guess like Hollow Knight had a thing where like okay, so I played some Hollow Knight to see if I like wanted to get that game, and I tried to do the section in the game where they're having you like try to like bounce on the mushrooms, and for some reason my brain cannot comprehend like they have to press down and I also have to press like the swing button at the same time on the controller. And so I cannot do that part of the game. So maybe skill issue, but also maybe I'm just maybe the game's just like not for me. Probably both, to be honest. Um, yeah, we got some good box out plays. They didn't also play on Aurora, which is kind of weird. I almost wonder if they should have tried to set up the Act of Glory there and then just like pass or something. Huh. Very interesting. All right, we got the Moment Maker. I thought this was called Money Maker. I mean, I guess similar thing, right? What do we want to do here? So we have the Hunter or Hunted, but I kind of want to just like Oasis this and then like play CNC Arsenal it for next turn. I think that makes a bit more sense to just try to like play our threats. So let's go ahead and use the Oasis here just so we kind of get it out of the way. Oasis is good into Pallades, but she doesn't have a ton of auras set up yet, so it's maybe not going to be super relevant for a while. But yeah, $20 for Silksong seems like a pretty good price. Tiara Suspense, this is the remove, put a counter. Okay, this is, yep. Sorry, all the new Armory deck cards are still growing on me a bit. The equipment suite from the Armory deck just seems really, really solid, though. Like, I think Boots to the Boars is just like an auto run in Tough Nut and Pleiades, and then the Attention Grabbers I've seen it in Lyeth, I've seen it in Pleiades, I've seen it in some of the other Guardians as well. It's very, very cool. Yeah, I can appreciate the that people like Hollow Knight and also Silksong. Like I think those are probably very high quality games. It's just more so a game I can't wrap my brain around. I also am like terrible at fighting games. I've tried to play like Smash and oh, I'm trying to think of some of the other fighting games I've tried. But yeah, I can also like never really wrap my head around fighting games. Yeah. All right, we're getting some good blocks here. Like to see a pummel in your hand out of the way. So they do have a pummel in hand that I have to be a little bit worried about. But we do have the hunt or hunted for that, unless it's like a CNC. All right, they're gonna overpitch the pummel for later. Okay, this is fun for us. So let's just go ahead and hunter hunted. Hunter or hunted. See what we get. I think we're gonna hold on to the other one for next turn and just like IP with Oasis. We're gonna even like pull Tunic, pitch Oasis, and then do something like that. All right, let's get our deck damage in though. All right, that's a good hit. So we will not sink Active Glory. So that's gonna take a lot of damage out of the deck. So that's actually really good for us. All right, and the card was called Act of Glory. All right, Act of Glory. see how many they're running. I think we saw one in pitch, right? All right, and we also saw the blue one, I guess. So, oh, they have one in the yard as well. Okay, so let's banish the red one for sure, and then get 2 of the blue ones. So nice little 4 silver pile there. That's fantastic. This card is like nuts. Making 4 silver in Arakni is kind of insane. Like you get basically an extra like 12 silver in the deck. Seems quite good. Alright, so we get a nice little leave now. We get to sit on the Hunter or Hunted. I think it's going quite well for us. Hopefully this is a game where we maybe... Okay, so let's see if we can get our opponent. That's... yeah, that's fine. We can leave that on top. Or no, sorry. I guess we bottomed it. Whatever. It's fine. We probably did want to leave it on top. Just so we can like get the guaranteed. Like that's actually a pretty good hit off leave now. But not the end of the world. I think they're gonna sink it anyways. Oh, I know copies have already dead. I think the idea is that it's like the cost efficiency of it isn't very good. I think so. This deck from the Arakni main, like this person I think plays a lot more Arakni than I do. But they are not running that card. But I think it was in the other list we were taking a look at earlier. I think the idea is that you just want your contract cards to be a bit cheaper than 2 cost. Like I think the 2 cost is a little bit prohibitive, and then also like the disruption it's presenting is not super relevant. I think that's the idea. But again, not an Arakni player, so my input is I'd say very not very meaningful. Hunter Hunted, and I guess we'll cover with I guess the Justinic here. So this works out, I think. Yeah, I think like the 1 costs feel a little bit better. I guess we don't have one. The like Annihilate the Arm, for instance, I think like that one feels a bit better off of like Dagger into 1 cost feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and Hunter again. See if we can get a good hit here. Yeah, a lot of these auras are just like very, very strong though. Kind of a big fan of how they design these Guardian cards because it's actually really interesting. Like the oh yeah, we're absolutely gonna banish that. Yep. So we'll not sync. I guess we never sync off this card. I kind of wish it was like there's like a way to like auto do that. That'd be kind of cool. All right. So let's go ahead and hit here. So tension in the air. See how many they're running of these. Might only be like the 2. Oh, they are running some blues. All right, that's great for us. So you're getting some pretty good hits here. I mean, sitting on 8 silver, can't complain. Yeah, it's very likely that there is another concession incoming. Let's hopefully not manifest that. I don't want this to be the concession stream, but honestly, like, this hero is kind of troll in that sense. Like, it kind of does feel like it's just a concession hero a lot of the time. Alright, turning points. Let's sync that for later. I don't feel super strongly about that, but I don't also really want them drawing into that. Oh, this hero's so troll. Oh, another funny thing about this hero is, like, if you're playing this hero over, like, webcam fab, like, it's kind of terrible, because then you have to, like, show your opponent, like, the card and, like angle yourself away from it. I think, let's actually, do we want to buy back equipment here? Let's buy back the black text, I think. I think the black text makes sense, because, like, maybe we're more likely to try to get some value out of the Perdition. I think we're just doing this for the armor value, though. I also kind of considered Shriek Razors in this deck, but I feel like that might be overkill. You're not always sitting on a pile of 8 silver, it feels like. Like, sometimes you only get, like, 4, and then you can't just, like, buy back all your armor. Set in the Sigil, though. Pretty good arsenal. Alright, it's the Moment Maker. So they have one, potentially a big aura in hand that they can play. I think we probably just want to try to lean towards blocking this if we can. I like this block. They play out an aura and they pump. It gets a little bit awkward. Like, I want to try to deny the I want to try to deny what was it called, the confidence tokens as much as possible. So this pummel's not threatening a discard, so I think it's fine. We'll take our 3 damage. What does Thespian Charm do? The crowd cheers you, destroy a Minor Vigor, and then return an aura permanent you control to its owner's hand. Interesting. So you can use that with you can like bounce that with the palm in the palm of your hand. That's pretty cool. The Lyeth Charm is actually really interesting. It basically like turns off. You can use it to like turn off your hero power, which is kind of cool, or you can use it to like turn off your opponent's hero power. Seems really good. It feels like the first mode on this card like doesn't matter except for like limited, and then the second mode's good, and then the third mode is like the reason you play the card. Yeah, but hopefully we'll get to buy back our boots here. Yeah, I'm excited to try out Pleiades. That might be like maybe the next video we do. It's either that or Lyeth. I feel like Lyeth is kind of like what a lot of people are gravitating towards. I feel like people have actually not been super like geared towards Pleiades. I think Tough Nut, like I think maybe those two are actually like the heroes I want to try out the most. So Sync the Cries of Encore. Let's not do that. Let's leave that on top. Let's hopefully see if we can maybe use the mask here. I imagine they're gonna probably want to try to block though. I think I'm just gonna Sigil Pass and see if they do anything. Yeah, it seemed pretty obvious they had like React there. We'll still sit our Perdition, I think. I think threatening it is still pretty important, and we're still sitting at 40, so I don't think there's like a super big need to like throw it in the graveyard and then buy it back. Oh, Brother in Arms, also interesting. This almost feels kind of like wait, what does the Pleiades Armory deck look like? What cards are in it? Is Brother in Arms in the Pleiades Armory deck, or maybe this is their own spicy inclusion? Oh, interesting. Might be their inclusion. Okay, interesting. I kind of see it. Like kind of like a 4-block. If you play out like a 2-cost aura and then you like pay 1 into the Brothers in Arms, I can see that being kind of interesting. I think we're sitting pretty good right now. Oh, this is a really good hand. We can Annihilate the Armed, off the Eradicate, and then like finish on a Double Trouble. All right, another scoop victory. Yep. Do we? Is this good content? Are people enjoying the scoops? I don't know. This deck is kind of suffering. Like even to play as and to play against, this deck is kind of rough. I feel like this game, like you never really finish games with this deck. It's kind of one observation I'm making. I feel like for that reason, maybe it's F tier. I don't know. I don't know if I'm enjoying the scoops, but I'm certainly enjoying the gameplay up until that point. Well, I appreciate that, at least. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, you're undefeated.
I am undefeated, so I guess maybe we have to rebrand as a pro Arakni player in the open CC queue.
We gotta see if this works in paper.
Oh, if the concession strat works in paper. It's entirely possible. I mean, undefeated Arakni player. Crazy. Maybe this deck is an F tier, then. Maybe it's like griefing tier. Maybe that's like the new tier that Arakni inhibits. Alright, I feel like we gotta lose. Alright, let's see if we can lose against this Tough Nut. Because I feel like Tough Nut kind of can maybe like fatigue us better than we can fatigue. Let's try it though. Alright, this is full 67, right? Let's do it. Let's see how it goes. Alright. I think we're just going to try to convert the hand as much as possible here. So I think I like arsenaling the Double Trouble and just doing like go again, plunder the 4. I think if we can get them to block here, I think we're pretty happy. Yeah, Huntsman be hunting. True. Alright, come back kid. Block. Sure. Oh, plus a fate. Okay. I think oh, they're not really even fat ticking us very much either. All right, maybe it's doable. So Tough Nut's also super interesting. Mainly because never give up. Do I want to sink this? I can banish it. I think I'm not supposed to sink this, so I think I'll say no. Because I want to banish that so they don't get like value out of it later. So I think that makes sense. So we get rid of that so that we don't have to worry about that in the future. Oh, we do have the Just Nick plus Double Trouble combo. Although that being said, they are sitting on a toughness. What I've been seeing a lot more of out of Tough Nut recently is people using Romping Club as opposed to Rock, which is a little bit sad. I think it kind of makes sense though. Let's like give up the Master Magician and Leave No here, and then just like hold on to Just Nick. I think we should at least force them to kind of take some action here. Like I think the Double Trouble might do that. And then getting the counter on Mass means that we're... Oh, actually, sorry. We probably shouldn't have sigiled there. That's me just like auto... what do you call it? Autopiloting after playing so much Jarl. We were actually absolutely... That was like kind of an egregious punt to use the sigil there. So that's on me. While this is any zone, if you controlled a toughness token this turn, this gets +3 in ambush when this defends. Oh, interesting. So okay, wait, so this is coming from -2. This pumps it to +5, and then we mask. So I think this works, right? We get both. So we should be able to hit for 3, I think, here, right? Then we pump by 2, we go over by 1. Seems good. Yeah, this feels more like a griefing deck than anything. Alright, we hit 4 cards there. I'd say that's a pretty good result. But yeah, what was I saying about Tough Nut? It seems like I've just been seeing a lot more Romping Club more than anything, I guess, is maybe what I was trying to say. Alright, what are we doing here? So, I guess the block is just these 2 plus black text. Then we can just, like, dagger, Double Trouble. Oh, yeah. But, anyways, the Sigil punt was bad, but fortunately we actually did not get super punished for that. I'd say this is going pretty well, though. Happy to be at 43 with also my opponent down a lot of cards. And we'll threaten another Double Trouble here. We're probably not going to pump into this one if they do anything, but this could be kind of annoying for them. Alright, it seems like they're maybe just going to give us the boots. Oh, interesting. This is a weird block. I feel like we're getting a lot of equity out of people not knowing really how to play into Arakni Huntsman. Oh, what is the drone? Is this the what is the drone strat? Tell me about the drone strat in Tough Nut. Are you talking about like the drone of brutality? Is there like a pseudo drone of brutality thing you can kind of do? Is that old favorite? Is that what when it's defensive a 6 or more block, put it on the bottom? Is that kind of like the strat that people are going for now? Yeah, I think aggro and warrior has historically been pretty rough for assassin. It feels like this is a pretty good deck that preys on like more like slower decks. It feels like, but into like faster decks, I can see this deck definitely struggling a bit. Right, so I think here we're just going to try to go for like E-Strike into Annihilate the Armed Arsenal, the Sink. I guess we might as well filter the Armor and see if we draw anything better, but I don't think there's really a ton we can draw into. So I think this is fine. Let's just do E-Strike go again, and then maybe we end up playing the Annihilate the Arm. Depends if they want to use the flesh bag here, though. I feel like this is not a great flesh bag, but it could be okay. Alright, Annihilate the Arms. Let's see what they got. Alright, Escalate Order on top. So I think we don't want to sink this because we want them to pitch this as a red, right? So we don't sink that so that we leave a red on top. And then maybe they give us 2 cards here, they pitch a red, and they like just pass. Alright, they're gonna Fate Foreseen as well. So maybe they're just gonna opt that to the bottom. All right, then we get sit on sync. Going pretty well for us, I think. All right, coming in with the club again. So we do have to sync here, which is a little unfortunate. But let's try to find some action, maybe get rid of one of these persuasives. It's kind of action. I think more than likely we're just... Oh, we don't have a CNC yet. I guess we do have a leave no, though. So maybe we're just doing, like, dagger, dagger. We can do dagger, dagger, double trouble, or we can do dagger, dagger, codex. I think both are reasonable. All right, giving us the heroic red. This card has also been, I think, really solid. I saw someone play this against me for like +6, and they did it like twice, and that was kind of funny. A lot of tough nut cards are quite cool. It's very interesting, just him being like a 3 intellect hero, but he's not really. He's kind of like just a 4 intellect hero. It's just the pitch card is always random, right? Okay, interesting. I'm still very happy to clear their hand here. I feel like we're getting a lot of good fatigue equity out of them, just kind of like overblocking. Feels pretty good. This is another double dagger turn, right? So can we we can't discard the CNC in any way, right? I guess we're just like saving the codex for later. This is fine. If we get intimidated here, we also like kind of don't care. Oh, okay. This is the explanation for the drone strat. So you can, in the end game, activate Tough Nut, get 2, and cheer. 1, lower life block with old favorite, and then use the Never Give Up to give it +3 to block 6, and Never Give Up goes on the... Oh, I see. So that's kind of like an infinite combo. That's pretty neat. Is it infinite, though? Because you have to... Hold on, what does this card say? Never Give Up. Put this on the bottom of your deck. Instant put this on the card. Target fitting gets +3. Activate this only while it's in your grave. Oh, so this also goes on the bottom of your deck. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so that is very helpful that we banished that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so that's kind of like the late game combo. I can see it. So it's like pseudo infinite, assuming you like don't get disrupted at all. All right, big romping club swing. It's maybe a good opportunity to just use the hunter or hunted, though. Yeah, that's pretty cool combo. I think we're just pitching the Oasis. And then what are we doing? We can... You know, actually, it's like overpitch the Oasis to dagger, codex, get back the CNC, and that's probably the best thing we can do. So we'll take 6 here off the romping club. I think that's fine. As long as we're getting the hunter or hunted value. Comeback Kid. We already have 1 in the graveyard, so this isn't like a great hit, but it's probably still just worth taking 2 out of them. So we'll not sink it. I don't really know why I'm like thinking about sinking it, because obviously like not sinking it's like pretty terrible. So Comeback Kid. They could be running blues or like yellows of these. Who knows? Alright, what do they have in their deck? They have the old favorites. They also have the Jaws of Victory, the Dig-ins. What is Wind Up the Crowd? Discard to create a toughness and a vigor. That makes sense. Oh, and it's also a blue 6. It's pretty cool. Yep, this looks pretty stock standard for Tough Nut. I'm not seeing a ton of Numbskull Charm either. But yeah, might as well just take the Comeback Kid. Oh, it looks like they maybe are only running the 1 of, or the 2 of that. Alright, that's also fine. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have been running the Romping Club just for the reason you said of like, there are a lot of yellows you're running in the deck, so having like Romping Club be a little bit more reliable than the Rock makes a lot of sense. Like, I just don't think you can run enough blues to where that is consistent, right? Yep, let's just go ahead and Codex. They will be able to get back something here. So what do they get back? They probably get like a CNC of their own or something. I think that's probably fine. We at least force a card blocked here, which I think gets us some pretty good fatigue equity. So no hero stands alone. All right, so this is the one that does the clash and -3. Oh, I get to choose now. Oh. Oh wait, no, this says ambush, right? Oh, so, okay, so that's what they got back off the code. Oh, okay, I see. Alright, not as... I mean, we still got like 2 value there. That's not bad, right? That's kind of funny. Okay. Art of Desire Mind. I guess we can Arsenal. Not a great Arsenal, but it's fine. Alright, swing big. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I guess we're just getting rid of the Leave No and then Shelter, and then just doing like Dagger, Annihilate. I think that's probably the play. I think there's also merit to getting the 1 block on Perdition there. But as you can tell, I'm still super rusty at Arakni. If we get Scowlinged here, I don't even think that's the end of the world. We can just play out the Art of Desire Mind and then do that. I feel like we're doing pretty well, at least in the fatigue game plan, right? It seems like Arakni is just kind of like one of those decks that just like eats mid-range alive. Oh, Mark Shelter to go blue from Arsenal Dagger deck. Oh yeah, that might have been better. Oh yeah, I think maybe blocking the 1 there on the, so we get a quick on the swing big. Then we get, oh yeah, that would have been better. Yeah, I think that I was thinking like the Master Perdition that didn't actually matter all that much, but I think you're actually right. Do I want to sink this? Probably yeah, actually. Try something better than Numbskull Charm, but I think yeah, if we block with the Mask there, we're able to get the Quicken token, which means we can play this out of Arsenal a little bit easier. It's probably better. Yeah, it seems like a lot more people have been gravitating towards Romping Club. That's just my observation. It seems like you like, I don't think there's enough consistency in the deck to where you can just like send rock every turn. And so at least what it feels like to me. Yeah, I think we're pretty ahead this game, but like I think that could have definitely made the difference. Blocking the 1 there so we get the quicken, so we'll play this at Arsenal. We do have the Corsive though now. So I'd say this is kind of fine. Kind of want to just block with the E-Strike. Maybe we'll go ahead and use the Perdition now. I mean, I feel like they're just going to swing Romping Club at us the entire game, which is fine. So maybe like the armor block really doesn't matter all that much. Alright, let's go ahead and rip the Plunder. Thick Hide Hunter. Sure, that can go on the bottom. I don't know what I'm necessarily trying to hit. But it is a 2 cost, so like maybe it's just worse for Plunder the Poor purposes. We do want some number of silver, right? Alright, so there's the old favorites plus the flesh bag. Alright, 50-50 on whether or not we get the Gogan here. Nice. Alright, we hit the 50-50. Fantastic. So now we get the Banish. So what are we going to banish here? It's probably the Reckless Stampede, right? So we'll top, banish the Reckless. And then, yeah, there wasn't a way to get Gogan, so this is fine. We're going to IP slightly here with the Sigil. But I think that's not actually that bad for us. Alright, Jaws of Victory. So we'll get Gogan off this, and then they can Romping Club. It's pretty good. I think we'll just take the opportunity here to just double the react then. Alright, pulling the Tunic 2. Wait, why are they pulling Tunic? Oh, for the gauntlets, that makes sense. Okay. Oh wait, we should have, sorry, whoops. We should, fate first. Oasis is whatever. Let's bottom the Oasis for now. You've appreciated the Arakni insight. Well, I appreciate you for stopping by, so thank you so much. But yeah, feel free to watch the VOD. Maybe we'll get another concession here. Who knows? Anything could happen on a Flesh and Bad stream. Okay, Romping Club coming in. Seems good. Yeah, we'll just shelter. And I think we're actually just gonna like pitch to CNC here. We could also like just sorry, I keep missing my reacts. I'm dumb. Whoops. Sorry. My bad. Oh, you don't wanna Romping Club, my friend. Oh, you got it. Yeah, it's in the club. There you go. All right, that's me missing my racks. All right, so I think we're actually gonna just send the Art of Desire Mind here, just so we get out our stall and then Sigil. I feel like the fatigue game has gotten a little bit closer for some reason. I don't know exactly why though. I feel like we were like ahead by like 10 cards, or like by like 10 or 15 cards, but now it's like a little bit less. I think we're still not doing too bad though. All right, blocking 10 on my Art Desire Mind. That's kind of hilarious. I mean, they're doing the tough nut thing for sure. Oh, and maybe can get him with the Hunter or Hunted here. Oh, they don't even want to pitch. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess this is a dagger turn, right? Just double dagger. I'm like halfway tempted to just like flick a Graven Call to buy it back at some point. But we'll try to sit on the Hunter or Hunted. We've seen 2 CNCs, or no, we've seen all 3 CNCs, so we don't have to worry about the Arsenal D-React anymore. So this is pretty good. Slow but steady progress. I think that is the Arakni game plan. Oh yeah. The Thick Hide Hunter plus the Dig-In is pretty sweet. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's pretty awesome. I feel like Tough Nut actually does a pretty decent job at dealing with like Marlin and like big attack decks. Like he seems like he's got like a really interesting niche. All right, looks like we're not romping this turn, which is kind of unfortunate for the Hunter or Hunted purposes. Oh no, we are. Oh no, sorry, we are still romping this turn. Okay, this is good for us. For some reason, I thought I was conflating the Numbskull Charm with them using their hero ability. All right, so we'll go ahead and Hunter Hunted here. Try to squeeze out the value when we can. All right, it's pack call. We will not sink it. Just banish all the pack calls. Pack call. I always love this UI, like the naming UI, because it reminds me of Shifting Winds. That card was sweet. All right, let's go ahead. So we do have the 2 silver if we want to just like buy back our Graven Call. I don't think it's like a bad idea. All right, disarm. Could be getting disarmed here. I mean, if they're just gonna show me the disarm, I kind of almost don't want to attack into it, but maybe we should still do it anyways. I guess we'll still send the CNC here. It's kind of weak, but it's fine. They don't want to disarm the Hunter or Hunted. I think that's also fine. Oh, I guess they can't even do that because it's not fully buffed. Okay, interesting. All right, toughness getting made. Sure. Escalate order. When this attacks the control, toughness, create 3 more. That seems pretty good. So we have the overcrowded here. I think the play is we're just gonna Hunter Hunted again. Try to thin out that deck as much as possible. Visit the Boneyard. We've already seen 2 of those. Do we want to YOLO here? I feel like that's greedy. Maybe we should just take it. So we'll not sink. Maybe we should just take the value where we can get it. It would be funny to YOLO, but I think it's probably not correct. All right, let's see what threats they actually have left at this point. So they have the 1 Visit the Boneyard, which we're going to banish. Then they have Tough Nut Charm. They have that Never Give Up. And they have 2 old favorites. So they only have 2 Never Give Ups. Or wait, did we get rid of 2 of them? We got rid of that one. Where's the other one? Do they not have the 3rd one is I guess the question. Oh, is it only 2? Unless I'm missing one somewhere. Or maybe it's in hand. That's also possible. What does this card say? It's not an ambush, right? Okay. So maybe this card in hand is Never Give Up unless they're only running 2 of them. Interesting. Let's go ahead. So the Spider's Bite actually presents an interesting breakpoint here. So maybe pitching the Eradicate's like fine, but I kind of also don't mind just like sending the Plunder. Wind up the crowd. Sure, we'll sync that. That's fine. Yeah, Florian, I think, is going to be a pretty powerful deck coming up into the ProQuest season. All right, this is fine, I think. We'll just IP with the Eradicate. Get our 1 card per turn, and just stay at a healthy life total, I think is the name of the game. We still got a lot of life to work with, so they did have to never give up in hand, I think. Maybe? Wait, did they not Arsenal? Actually, I think... No, they might have just drawn into that. Right. Because I think they had a card... I think they played a card from Arsenal, right? Or they played the... Or did they? I was not keeping track. So they pitched this... They didn't tough nut this turn. They had 3 cards in hand. Yeah, I'm curious to see which of the heroes will end up being good too. Sorry, I'm a little bit confused on what I did here. Alright, let's Fate. Use up all reacts. That's not a bad draw for next turn, I think. So leave that on top. I can't tell if they have 2 never give ups left or they would just have the 1 never give up and they drew into it. Alright, this is fine. So, go ahead and pitch the Justin Nick, and then we'll try to cut to a chase. They do have to give us at least maybe 2 cards to this Eradicate, which could be pretty good for us. I guess we don't want to sink that, so we leave that on top so that we can maybe try to banish that if that's part of the combo. Alright, cut to the chase. So we'll not sink the old favorite, we'll try to banish that one. Alright, the other fave, that's fine. Still getting 3 cards out of them this turn cycle, so for our basically 2 cards. So I think that's still a win for us. Alright, so old favorite. When this attacks, if you've been cheered this turn, create a toughness token. When this defends, if it has 6 or more power, put it on the bottom. Okay, yep. So it looks like they're maybe trying to still go for that combo. Oh yeah, sinking. Did we sink it next to? Oh yeah, the never give up. They pitched, right? So yeah, I guess they're still like pitching it anyways, right? Oh whoops, we should have de-reacted here. That's my bad. I guess they're still like pitching it next to it. I guess this way you're like forcing them to pitch it. I feel like it doesn't matter all that much, but it's fine. So I think let's go ahead and just get them to like overcommit to blocks here. Oh, did you play against me when you were playing Tough Nut? Yeah, that's entirely possible. I feel like I played against a decent number of Tough Nuts the other day. Yeah, I don't... Other people can use the sleeves, so this is maybe a good opportunity to plug the Patreon, but if you want to be the proud owner of this hideous playmat that I made in MS Paint, and then also the sleeves, you're more than welcome to sign up for our Patreon. I think it is $2. We also maybe, or actually, hold on, sorry, we should probably react there. That's my bad. We Master Edition plus Black Tux and see what they do. So we're sitting on some silver. I think this is probably worth it. Let's at least force some action here. And if they want to do something, that's fine. Alright, Shine Courage. Up to 1 target defending action card gets +3 this turn to crowd cheers you. Okay, seems good. Yeah, but other people can technically have my sleeves. It's just I'm probably more likely than most people to have my sleeves. Alright, so we got the Tough Nut going. Sure. Alright, we're so close to fatiguing them, but I'm kind of worried if they have like an infinite here. I feel like we could still maybe win through that. Alright, so we can potentially block out the swing big, but I don't think it helps us all that much. I kind of want to just like sink, or like fate sink, and then see what happens. Flick Knives is interesting. I kind of want to keep the Tunic. I guess I don't think we're really caring about the Quicken token here. I think we're just going to take our value. I think I want to try to sink this for a blue so we can like Surgical. I think it's my idea. Just a Nick is not helpful. I guess we don't need a blue. We have Tunic up. We just sink the Oasis for later. All right, there's our blue. So you can like Spider's Bite into Cut to the Chase and do some other stuff. Seems good. So re-equip the mask. I guess we'll Tunic first. Spider's Bite. I guess we didn't need a Tunic. I mean, we're kind of showing them what we have here a little bit. It's fine though. Yeah, we found our blue, which is nice. That means we get to surgical now. The only question I really have is whether or not they're going to be able to do anything from this position, because they are like pretty low on cards at this point. That's, I guess, my question. All right, disarm on top. Let's sink the disarm, because I don't think we care about that, right? I think we more so just care about deck banish at this point. Oh, they have the Thick Hide Hunter combo again, which is pretty sick. All right, so we sink the disarm. They block 7 on this, and they get rid of their hand. Then we just arsenal to Cut to the Chase. How many contract cards do we have left? Still have 2 Eradicates, I think, left in the deck. So that plus Cut to the Chase could be a pretty big deal. All right, we're doing pretty well, I think. And well, we also have Remembrance. Okay, this is great for us, I think. All right, clubbing it up. Sure. So let's give the Perdition, and then honestly, maybe just give the Persuasive here. I don't think there's a super compelling reason to just like hold on to it. I guess maybe we could trade it for like, there's maybe an argument to just like daggering there so that we can trade card for life, and preserving more cards in the deck maybe is more of a win con than like saving the extra life there. I can see that. But we're also like pretty far ahead on cards, it feels like. So unless they start like doing something like infinite combo-y, we should be kind of fine. Kind of almost have half a mind to just dagger here instead of playing the Annihilate too. I feel like that's better, especially when they're sitting on like 5 toughness. Yeah, I feel like I'm a surprisingly fast player too. What are we going to put in the deck? I mean, Codex seems pretty reasonable. What else do we want? Maybe like 1 CNC, and then maybe like a surgical back is kind of nice in case we need to like try to strip their hand. Let's try something like that. And then we'll give them a 3-card hand, but even if they can like fully convert a 3-card hand, which I kind of doubt, we should still probably be fine here. All right, just coming in with the swing big. So this is fine, right? We just Eradicate. We blue, Eradicate, hold up, Cut to the Chase, and then arsenal the other Eradicate and block with this. Or we don't block with this, we block with the bonds, right? So I think this makes sense. We'll take a little bit of damage here. But like, we gave up the tempo and they still didn't really capitalize on that super well, it felt like. Oh, maybe they have something to arsenal there. All right, let's start with the bite. So we bite, Eradicate, Cut to the Chase, and then they're going to have to give us some cards in front of this. So we'll sink the old favorite, I guess. No hero stands alone. They win the clash. This is fine. I think we just accept this. See what they can do. We're still in a pretty good spot, I feel like. All right, Jaws of Victory. I think I'll just pass on this. We're obviously going to be leaking a little bit of damage here, but I'm more so worried about just like them setting up some weird infinite block combo, which still seems like it kind of loses to surgical, but I've not played against it, so I'm still kind of scared of it. All right, so Romping Club coming in. They do have 2 toughness up, but this Eradicate is probably going to force cards, and then if we just like IP with the surgical, that'll also force cards. So I think we're still fine here. Leaking a bit of damage, but we are preserving, I think, the deck a bit. All right, throw out the Eradicate and see what they do. They do like have to block this, So let's leave the dig in case they want that. All right, old favorite plus disarm. So this less defensive has 6 or more. So this is not going on the bottom, right? Okay, I don't think they have an infinite here. Or they got rid of one of their old favorites, right? So this is fine. We just IP with the surgical. Pass back. Sorry, I'm still like kind of learning what this hero does, like I think a lot of people. So I'm not entirely sure if this is like a deterministic thing they can set up. And like if I need to figure out if I can like basically disrupt them at the right time. I think we can afford to give a little bit more blocking here, especially if we can't use the cards in hand. I think we're getting a little bit more kind of on parity with life totals, so I feel like blocking is maybe a little bit more prudent. And then we'll follow up with the Spider's Bite. It's definitely, like, it feels like they're at 2 cards left in library, but I'm still terrified. Shining Courage. So that can stay. Or I guess I don't know what their other card is. I probably should be paying attention. But I guess we can sync that, right? They need 3 cards in deck for it to work. A yellow, 6, old favorite, and a never give up. Okay. So if I cut to the chase here, and I banish the top card, I say no to that. I don't think they can win through this, right? Yeah, I think we got him. Absolutely. Quick rematch. What is this guy? What is this Joker talking about? Oh, quick rematch. It's not a quick rematch. I think they don't understand the all right. Well, I don't think we're gonna justify ourselves to the tough nut player there. They apparently wanted a rematch, but I think we got our game, which is at least nice. All right, we're sitting at 2 hours roughly. All right, I'm imagining we're gonna get a concession here, but let's try to at least do one more for the sake of it. But we did get our first official win. Was that a deterministic? So I think that was a deterministic win, right?
I think that was deterministic.
I think it was deterministic.
I'm gonna rule it as the referee is that was as not a concession final.
Yeah, I think that was determinate. Like we got them the 2 cards left in hand, and then they also like lost the top card of their deck and a card from hand. So I think that was deterministic. Let's bring the Scale Peeler. So this is probably a matchup we're gonna lose, but that's fine. We want to lose some matchups. I think that's okay. So let's just do E-Strike Sigil. All right, opponent is very well prepared here. It's probably gonna be the last game of the night though, so thank you all for stopping by. Go ahead and just get a little bit of our life buffer there. All right, Wild Ride coming in. Discarding another Wild Ride. Okay. Yep, seems like a good time as any to just rip the Hunter or Hunted, right? The earlier, the better, I think, right? All right, Bear Fangs gone, so we'll not sync that. We get all the Bear Fangs out of the deck. Fantastic. This is another one of those cards that like does mill itself though, kind of, or like does contribute to the mill. Also, I think I saw a bunch of yellow pulpings in the deck. I probably should take better advantage of that UI there to look and see what my opponent's actually playing, but that's me just not being used to it. All right, all Bear Fangs down though. That's really good for us. All right, opponent is just gonna pass back. What are we doing here? I kind of think we're just sending the surgical. Let's sync the Wrecker around for later. I think we're just doing this to get it out of our arsenal more than anything. Seems good. If we get 2 cards here instead of armor, I think we're very happy with that. Right, into the Reckless Stampede. So every time we block, we take a damage. It's probably still fine though. Maybe we'll block like 1 card, E-Strike, Arsenal, Fate, and that's probably a fine play. So let's give the minimal amount to this. It basically just turns our D-Reacts into presumably just like 2 blocks or 3 blocks instead of 4 blocks. So let's bottom the cut to the chase so that we can maybe have a better chance of hitting off the top. All right, but they still win the clash, so that's fine. And I guess we'll leave the plunder on top. Oh wait, we get the choice. Oh, interesting. Very cool. It's kind of like giving you some op value. Yeah, Tegan's the referee there. I think they have the final say. Let's do, yeah, we're just gonna do the E-strike here. All right, we're doing pretty good on the fatigue game, I think. Oh, you giving me a cat? All right, it's cat time.
Give me Phil.
Everyone's favorite time on the stream. It's cat time. All right, hello, Philip. All right, let's go ahead and arsenal the sink. Hold the cat. Oh, he's. You can tell he was taking a nap, buddy.
Is he warm?
Yeah, he's very toasty. All right, little cat boy. All right, Mandible Claw. We definitely want to sink this just so we can try to avoid getting our arsenal blown up. So I think here, let's go ahead and put the Eradicate on the bottom. Maybe that's wrong, actually. Maybe we want to try to preserve the ability to, like, 2-card dagger. All right, so this is kind of the punish for bottoming the D-React. So maybe, actually, since we saw that they're on the yellow pulpings as well, we should try to preserve the D-React over, like, playing around CNC. I think there's, like, kind of merit to both, though. Maybe we should have waited, like, another chain link, though. All right. All right, you can hang out here, Mr. Cat. All right, what are we doing with this pulping? I think we're probably going to just try to hold on to the plunder of the poor and then, like, Arsenal of Fate so that we can try to stop their next pulping. So we got a little bit punished for the using the D-React there. All right, activating the gauntlets. And then Strongest Survive. So when this hits 0, yellow card. So yeah, we just have to block this out, right? This card's pretty strong. I guess that's why they call it the Strongest Survive, right? Persuasive. You can go on the bottom. Yeah, this card's really good. Just having on hit this card on a brute card is quite nice. And like the 3-for-7 stat line is also kind of insane. All right, let's try to leak a bit of damage from this. So I think our play is going to be to maybe block 7 on the next thing, and then like Oasis. Actually block 6 here. I don't know what they can have that would actually like meaningfully disrupt us here. Like if they have a Strongest Survive, then we just like double block, and that's fine. If they don't have Strongest Survive, then we just like Arsenal one of these. Try to stick to the fatigue game plan a little bit here. Alright, Gauntlets getting used to just a claw. Seems about as good a time as any to just use the Oasis. Alright, getting an agile windup for next turn seems pretty good. Let's go ahead and use Oasis while we can. Nice little 1-for-5 value. All right, so I think because they showed me the yellow pulpings, I'm going to try to hold on to this D-React as hard as possible. It looks like we're going to get rewarded slightly here. The only problem is like the hunted is now a little awkward, but I think we actually probably just want to double pitch these, right? And then just Arsenal the Fate again. Oh, I guess they do have the agility, so we're not actually like preventing anything by doing this. That's fine though. We can at least like double block here. So let's go ahead and just use the shelter. So we're not going to stop the go again because they made the agility last turn, which is probably prudent from them. But we can like block 7, set up the hunted in Arsenal just so we're not like hemorrhaging value. Another one on top is fine actually because it means we at least have a blue to pitch to this, right? But yeah, I think that Arakni is a deck that does pretty well into like mid-range decks, but probably struggles just into decks kind of like KO, where they're just very aggressive and you can't really block everything. You can actually double Hunter or Hunted here, which is kind of tempting. Still have 2 CNCs in the deck. I imagine they're probably on Sin Packings as well. I still kind of think I should use the one from Arsenal still. They also pitched a red, which is kind of interesting. Let's go ahead and use it up here. Let's maybe hold on to Surgical and Bonds just in case. All right, swing big on top. Goodbye, swing big. We don't even have any... Oh, okay, this is fantastic for us. So don't sink the swing big. And we get to name it here. This is really good for us. This is some pretty good value. All right, so let's actually take a minute to look at their deck list before kind of like going too fast. All right, so what do we have here? We got the Pulpings, we got the Wild Rides, we got the Buck Wilds. They are on Sen Packing. Looks like 3 Sen Packing, 1 Tear Limb from Limb. And then we've got some song, maybe like 2 Song of Sinew. Okay, interesting. Opponent's got a Brew here. I'm just taking a look and see if there's anything else I should make note of. 2 CNCs, 3 Sen Pack. Okay, I think we pretty much got the gist of it. All right, banished all the swing bigs, so that's pretty good. So I'd say that's some pretty good value there. All right, and then the Reckless Stampede again. Kind of want to just like say, fine, we're gonna take the damage here. The Massive Perdition block actually doesn't make much sense though, but I think these 2 blocks make sense. Let's go ahead and just give them 2 value potentially here. I'll bottom the Oasis in case we get a CNC here, but if we don't, not the end of the world. All right, top the Sigil. Oh, we took one from the hand? Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm so bad at this hero. I think I did see that in the UI now that you like mention it, but like I think I'm just like UI blind. That's my bad. Okay, let's go ahead and I think just catch in the Mask of Perdition block and then Hunted or Hunter or Hunted, whichever one it is. Energetic Impact, sure. All right, let's go ahead and grab those. Energetic. I imagine they have 3 of these just in the blue base, which it looks like they do. Oh, and we rip another one from... Oh, no. Wait, this card's nuts. We just ripped one of their cards randomly from hand. That's disgusting. Absolutely criminal. Okay. So I guess we're just going to pull Tunic here and send the Annihilate. That's... Wow, we actually like took one from hand, which is ridiculous. Yeah, that's so funny. This deck is like kind of griefing, honestly. Sink the Wild Ride or leave it on top. This is looking for attack action, so I guess we don't sink the Wild Ride and just leave it there. I'd kind of rather them play the Wild Rides out so that they're like kind of milling themselves. Yep, this seems good to me. So we'll banish that off the top. Sit on our... Oh, we probably should have cracked the mask. That's my bad. But too late now. All right, a CNC coming in at me. This is fine. We can actually overpitch the Sink Blow here. Dagger, then Codex. The only problem with that is obviously Scowling. Could also just get like an Annihilate the Armed or something. There's like a way to play around Codex here. Yeah, let's just pass. If they want to flashback us, I don't think that's the end of the world. We can just like double dagger. But yeah, I feel like this is a pretty face-up Codex if they want to give the flashback here. But it seems like they're not going to go for it. Which means we'll just grab our CNC, send it in. Wait, did we rip? Well, how did we rip? Did we rip 3 cards from hand? I thought we only played... Oh no, did we play... Oh my god, am I like completely blind? Did we play all 3 Hunter or Hunteds and then rip 3 cards each time? Wow, I think it's getting to the point in the night where I'm just like completely not paying attention to what's happening in the game. That's a lot funnier than than anything I guess I've been saying. Okay, so what are we doing? That's so funny. Okay, pulping coming in. Let's block with the annihilate here. Or no, do we want the no? I think we want the leave no ideally, right? Let's do this. I imagine they probably don't have a super great follow up here. Yeah, it seems like you're just gonna pass. All right, so let's attack in with what here? I think we want to leave no from Arsenal ideally. Yeah, I'm like quickly losing my sanity at this point in the day. All right, agile wind up that can get bottomed. I think we will try to mask here if they let us. Even if we don't, even if they end up blocking, I think we're probably masking. All right, mask repetition. We can actually black text too if we really wanted to. Yeah, sure, we'll pop it all. Why not? And then we'll cut. Wild Ride on top. Let's sync that so we leave that in the deck, because I want them to play as many Wild Rides as possible. So we'll get our Banish, we get their Arsenal. And then I guess we can play the leave no if we just want to threaten some more damage. How many codexes do we have left? I think we sunk one early, right? So we should still have one live. I guess let's go ahead and just send it, because we might not want to play it next turn. I guess we'll sync the Wrecker Rump too, sure. I think this is going pretty well, though. Alright, 2 Plunders and a Coercive. Pretty good hand. Yeah, I think when you have really good RNG, the KO matchup gets a little bit easier. I mean, we're sitting on a decent pile of silver, too. Oh, true, because the contract stays open during the combat chain. That's totally true. I forget. I always forget that about contract, but contract is really interesting because it stays open during the entire combat chain. So if you play multiple contract cards, they all like fill each other, right? That's pretty cool. I kind of just want to take 8 here. I kind of want to just take 8 because like blocking this is not super. We probably should block though, right? I mean, we're still like leaking 3 even if we do end up like full blocking. I don't know. Maybe we'll do like 2 block. Maybe that's secret and we'll take 4 here. Let's preserve the life total a little bit here. I don't want to get like too crazy. Alright, Codex on top. I kind of want to bottom this because we're going to Arsenal one of these attacks anyways. Let's bottom the leave no. Do we want to top the leave no? Oh, top the leave no. That's fine. Alright, we're equipping our equipment there. And just set him with the plunder. Alright, run Rift Should. That's fine to leave on top, right? Because we want to banish that. I kind of want to just like keep masking here. So we hit one there, and we hit an agile wind up, and we can just rebuy our mask back next turn. Say this is going pretty good. Looks like they might just have like a wind up here. Alright, we're doing pretty good this game, I think. Let's block with, I guess, the Justinek. I'm fully expecting them to maybe have like a send packing here, but I think we're still just like leaning into the blocking as much as possible. They still are sitting on a pretty decent amount of fridge, though, so you gotta be a little bit careful. Scowling is also a bit annoying. Alright, there's CNC, so we can still block this with the black text, which is really nice. So I guess we'll give them the CNC. And then maybe just play the plunder, Arsenal, leave no. That seems fine. Yeah, 16 card banished is quite a lot. So we hit 9 off the 2 swing bigs, the bear fangs, and the energetic impacts, and then we've hit an additional 7 just from random banishes. I'd say we're in pretty good shape here. So we'll equip our mask again. Let's go ahead and I guess start with the plunder. We'll not sink the Blood Rush. I think we want that to get banished if we can. We've only also seen one Blood Rush this game, right? They've only played this one. So they have 2 Blood Rushes in the deck, maybe 1 in hand at this point. I think I'm absolutely going to black text no matter what here. Yep, go ahead and just use it up. I'll probably even play the Leave No, just so that we can like double contract here. Alright, so Blood Rush is hit. And then Send Packing on top. I feel like that can stay in the deck. I don't think I care about that as much. But yeah, I think we'll just double contract here. Alright, oh, we hit both Blood... Yeah, we hit both Blood Rushes! Oh, that's so sick. Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. New Arakni main.
You've been doing really well with this deck.
Wait, are we like undefeated tonight with this deck?
Yeah, if you count
I mean,
all the
yeah. Yeah. It's not easy being this good at Flesh and Blood, let me tell you. When you hit both Blood Rushes, that feels pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and dereact here. They don't call me Flesh and Bad for nothing. Alright, we'll re-equip our black text. Wait, is this giving me the prompt twice? That was weird. Alright, no more Blood Rushes for the rest of the game. Yeah, this deck is like kind of toxic, honestly. It's kind of hilarious. I love it. This is like a deck for griefers. Which is probably the most like... There is a certain Flesh and Blood player who loves this kind of style of deck where you're just like making your opponents miserable. I feel like that is this deck. Kind of hilarious. Alright, 3 coming in, that's fine. I think we're just gonna eat the 3 here, right? And then maybe just like try to eradicate off Tunic and then pop our equipment again. That seems fine. We'll take our 3. Yeah, these I feel like I've been doing Huntsman a fair bit of justice tonight. Alright, we gotta get one last W. Let's do it. Alright, this is coming in for 15. It's pretty good. Could honestly just like block out here, but I kind of want to have an excuse to like put the equipment in the graveyard. So I think we're gonna end up taking 5 here, and then just like pop both of our equipment on the Annihilate so that we can get an extra 2 points of block. I think that's reasonable. But yeah, pretty big turn from them there. Yeah, Buckwild plus the Tearlim from them is a pretty sick combo. Alright, so no matter what here, we're still popping the equipment. We will sink the... let's not sink the Wrecker Realm. I think it's fine. Yeah, this is these have been some pretty good Huntsman games. We might still lose this one. Like, very possible. But they don't have a ton of juice left in their deck. I feel like they should also be giving us more armor than they are here. Because now we're just ripping, like, extra cards, which feels pretty good. So yeah, we're in, I think, a really good spot. Alright, the overcrowded here is actually kind of awkward. If they make some auras, it could get a little bit better, but for right now, it's not super impressive. Alright, looks like they're just going to get a 3 on the Song of Sinew there. Alright, let's try to lean into the blocking as hard as we can here. Actually, there's probably merit to just blocking 6 and, like, arsenaling the overcrowded. Is that better? It's probably a little bit better. We could also how many Oasis have we seen, actually? We've seen 1 Oasis? Oh yeah, we pitched the 2 Oasis in like the very early game, didn't we? So we still probably do need our Tunic. This is fine. I think we'll take our 6 here, we'll go to 3. Sigil functionally puts us back up to 6. And we get an extra 2 points of value here. So I think this is fine. Let's go ahead and arsenal the overcrowded. Yeah, this is good. Alright, the other Tearlim from Limb is terrifying. Alright, spooky. Alright, so the claw coming back in. Very, very spooky. Let's give them the overcrowded here, and I guess maybe just the mask. and then we'll see what they do from there. Oh, this gets we already get the +1 value here from the might token actually, so we don't need to give equipment here. Let's just go ahead and get our block value. All right, another wild ride coming in for 10. Yeah, good excuse to just like arsenal the Oasis here. We are getting a little low on cards, but so are they. This is close. Let's just arsenal the Oasis here, though. Still have one more in the deck, so if we like pitch a blue, that's pretty good value. We're not doing terrible on fatigue, I think. We're still up like kind of a couple cards. All right, they're just doing a send packing here. So what do I want to hold on to? I probably pitch the Codex here. Or we could actually pitch the Cut to the Chase if we wanted to. Kind of like this almost. Let's do it on the send packing and then block with the Eradicate. Then we can dagger Codex, get CNC, have some fun. I guess the problem with this is... No, there's a problem with this. The problem with this is that if they decide to go for Scowling, it gets really awkward. The Scowling is really awkward. I kind of think we should do something like this so we just keep capitalizing on our silver. And then it's like 50-50 what they banish. If they hit the Eradicate, it's good. If they don't hit the Eradicate, it's fine. You keep Eradicate since then you can pitch Prog. Yeah, I think that's the... So my idea here is I want to pitch Prog, and then I want to have a 50-50 of what they hit with Scowling, I think is my idea. So let's start with the Peeler here, I guess. I feel like this eats Fleshbag. Or, like, I feel like they have to use Fleshbag at some point in this game, right? Alright, so 50-50 what they hit here. I feel like we want the Codex, ideally, but we're not upset with the Eradicate. Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. So now we get to pop the equipment on the Eradicate. Wrecker Rump can still... that's fine. That can stay on top, I think. So now you have to give us blocks on this. Yeah, it seems good. I think there was also maybe some merit to like spiders biting and then flicking the Peeler. But yeah, we're definitely just popping the equipment here. Just so we can buy it back. Alright, good hand. So we need... it's kind of awkward here because we want to like hold on to 2 blues ideally. So what do they have in terms of threats left in deck? Let's organize their graveyard. I think they have like one... Do they have a yellow pulping? It's kind of hard to tell between the two zones here. I feel like they have a yellow pulping still. But other than that, is there anything we're super afraid of? I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to block blue Oasis with Tunic. I guess I'm just trying to see if there are any threats that they have left that I care about. How many send packings have we seen, actually? Where's send packing? My blind. All right, we've seen 2 send pack. I'm actually kind of hesitant to block here. It's not the end of the world if we don't get to like CNC off Tunic. I guess maybe we just do this in case they have one of Reckless. I don't think we saw the Reckless though. Okay, maybe they're just gonna Mandible Claw. Maybe they wanted to do something different that turn. Interesting. So I think they wanted to claw. I'm assuming they want to discard and then like send packing or something. That's the one thing I'm afraid of. But even if they do that, I don't think that's that bad for me. So they discard like a Mighty Wind up here. They get Go again. Then they like maybe send packing from Arsenal or something. But then we just like block with Tunic plus Oasis plus blue. And then we get like a 1 cost from Graveyard. I think this is fine. Alright, so there's the send packing. So it kind of expected that, but this still kind of works out for us. So they get rid of the Codex. We can then Tunic, block with maybe the Bonds here. We'll leave the Double Trouble because I feel like that's higher upside. But yeah, this is fine. We'll buy back the Codex. The only awkward thing is we obviously don't get to get the CNC, but we can also get like Leave No or something. I think that's fine. I feel like there's maybe merit to, against like the newer KO lists, like not caring about Reckless swing. I think we saw that they didn't have Reckless to begin with too. So maybe like the play was actually to go down to 2, not block on the claw, and then block on the send packing was maybe a little bit better. Alright, so we'll start with the Spider's Bite here. They only have 1 point of armor block, so the Scale Peeler is kind of useless. Could honestly even flick the Scale Peeler if we really wanted to. But play out the Codex, and we'll grab... It's either Leave No or... There's actually maybe merit to flicking there. Yeah, we probably should have flicked on that so the gauntlets aren't available. Actually, maybe Annihilate the Arm's better in terms of breakpoints, right? Oh, did I accidentally click through the silver? Oh, I think there's an option that it gives you to allow you to pay extra silver for some reason. I don't know if that's how the card actually works, though. I'm not sure if that's a bug or if that's a thing you can actually do, but I think it's been prompting me to pay additional silver for the black text. I maybe just clicked on that, so that's my bad. Runner up shed's like fine on top, I think. Yeah, I think it charged me some extra silver, so unfortunate there, but not the end of the world. Oh, we also could have gotten Leave No if we really wanted to, but I guess this also eats the additional armor, so maybe it's fine. All right, Reckless Stampede, spooky, spooky. I don't think we care, though. Yeah, let's just double D-React here. Yeah, I think I just clicked through it too fast. That's on me. No bottom. Take 1 off this, I assume. I mean, we only have 1 card in our deck, so this is fine, right? This card's also pretty good. Just like a 2 for 7 that sometimes like gives you an additional point of value or two value if your opponent's trying to block. Leave that on top. All right, so we overpitch here, and then we Codex, get CNC. We're in business. Wow, we actually beat a KO. Undefeated with the Arakni deck on an F tier Friday. Yeah, it's kind of weird that it charged me the 2 more. I don't know. All right, that's game. We did it. Let's fucking go. All right, we went undefeated with my F tier Fridays Arakni deck. That's pretty sick. So how many games do we actually play? Let's take a look. All right, that's probably gonna be the last one for tonight, but holy cow, we got 8 wins today. That's nuts. I think that is the first time on F tier Fridays that we've had an undefeated record with a deck we've made. This is also a deck that I kind of stole. I mean, I like modeled it very closely off of Adis's deck list. I think they're Plague Hive on YouTube. But yeah, I modeled it very heavily on this. I just like took out, I think, the yellow double troubles and just like added some other kind of like weird cards in. But yeah, very impressive from the Iraq. Like maybe, all right, maybe it's not F tier. I'm kind of thinking this is maybe just like a fringe deck that kind of can grind out like mid-range decks, but maybe like struggles into like more aggro strategies and maybe like kind of like the more over-the-top mid-range decks like Florian or like Verdance or whatever. But otherwise, like very, very impressive. I mean, like, yeah, the D-React Bonds of Agony turns out pretty good card, right? Just being able to make up to 4 silver and then also get like up to 4 value. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah, like this card is kind of insane for the older Arakni, so very, very impressive. I also kind of like that. I appreciate that they didn't just make this for Slippy, like they printed this as specifically for the older Arakni, which I think is really nice. I think this is something that I think people were looking forward to a lot in what's the set called? The Hunted, right? But happy to see LEC and Super Slam. So anyways, if you want to go grief your opponents and play the stack, feel free. Let me know how it goes. 8-0 on F tier Fridays is very, very cool. So very, very proud of myself that I was able to build a competent Arakni deck that we could do somewhat well with, at least. I don't know if this is optimal by any means, but definitely seemed like it worked out pretty well for us. I mean, maybe struggles into Wizards or like Florian or whatever, but like feel like those are real decks. No one plays Earth Heroes anymore, right? All right, well, thank you all for stopping by. Again, I think this was inspired mostly by like Aegis's lists, so I think I changed up a couple things, like added a couple cards here and here. But I think the shell was largely their idea, so credit goes to them, and I think also credit goes to the Kansas City Calling fourth place person. Let me find their list so I can shout them out too. So this is I think a list from the Kansas City Calling. I think this is from the Real Powers. He has Hero Text, I swear. That's a very funny deck note. But anyways, I kind of like basically kind of melded those two decks together and kind of just came up with my own Arakni list. Again, I'm not an Arakni expert by any means, but I did go 8-0, so that's always something. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed. I'll kind of hang out for a couple minutes in case anyone says anything in chat. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by and appreciate it. And then if you haven't got the chance to, feel free to come join the Discord. So we have a link to that, I think, in chat. Tegan, do you want to post that real quick?
Yeah, if you do the exclamation point Discord, you'll get the link.
Yeah. So working on the stream and stuff. We have a healthy little Discord community, so feel free to come stop by and come read Moby Dick with us, which is apparently a thing we're doing in Discord. But anyways, thank you all for stopping by. Appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed the F Tier Fridays, and yeah, very impressive Arakni showing there. I feel like, okay, so like we got like 6 concessions, right? And we played like 2 real games or something like that. But the 2 real games ended up being pretty good. All right, thank you all. I'm probably gonna call a stream here, but yeah, thank you all for stopping by, and we'll see y'all later. All right, cease.